take a listen to Will Ashcroft's goal in round 7.
Ball is thrown up. McInerney taps it boundary side. Ashcroft got on his bike and the reflex kick out of mid-air. That's unbelievable. That is Daniel Wells-like from young Will Ashcroft.
That's going to be pretty hard to beat, I think, for the goal of the year in 2023. People's Caller, your 3 favourite moments of the year so far?
Well, I pondered it, Jack. I think the opening round, the draw between Carlton and Richmond, where were the Blues going to be at with Vossi, and obviously the Tigers with Dimmer, and to finish with a draw, I think was a sensational result here at the MCG. I agree with Jono. I gave the 2 votes to the Sydney versus Port game. Ollie Florence kick after the siren, touched on the line by Aliir and slung back into play. And I gave the 3 votes to Jamara Ugle-Hagan for these 5 goals straight he kicked against Brisbane, because there was a bit of a question over his kicking at the time as well. Round 3, and of course he raised the jumper in that iconic moment, as Jono said, after being racially vilified during the week before. Just seeing a young man grow into not only as a human, but also in the game itself. So I thought it was a moment.
Jono had that one mentioned, the Sydney and Port game from round 4, and so did you. So let's just go back and relive that night at the SCG.
Ollie Florent from 48, off the boots, does it get there? No, I don't think it did. Port Adelaide celebrates.
Great game of footy, that one. Big night.
I got goosebumps still listening to that.
I'd say Kenny Hinkley on the boundary.
Yep.
I mean, there was a lot of questions over Kenny, and all of a sudden
there was
back in the race.
And he's taking his position down onto the bench now, where he hasn't done it his whole career. And this year he's done it for the first time, which has been, and you can see his emotion. I love it, Kate, when coaches actually show emotion about their game and about what's happening out there. You know, you get some coaches just sit there and they're just like still sort of look on their face. But I love the way Kenny gets into it.
Righto, Jack. Drum roll. It's yours.
Can we not actually? Yeah. Thank you, Leroy. I was going to say we've got no budget for a snare drum in the box. One vote. I thought one of the best moments of the season was Tom Hawkins and Jack Riewoldt exchanging jumpers at the end of the game.
Yes.
With the way footy's going, I'm not sure we'll see key forwards kick as many goals, and we celebrated Buddy obviously this round as well, but the game is changing so much that I don't know we'll see a Tom Hawkins again. I'm not sure that we'll see a Jack Riewoldt again. So both were maligned at early stages in their career, and both will go down as champions of their footy club. So I love that moment. I've loved Anzac Day, love Dreamtime, just love having big games back at the MCG, post-COVID, thrillers like that. We're all footy fans at the end of the day, aren't we? And they're the games that, as fans, we live for and we love, I reckon.
Oh, the Dreamtime game, when you spoke about, and the Anzac, I got goosebumps straight away. And that night here, I was doing the broadcast for Channel 7, and it was great. The game was all the way to the end, and it was time that Essendon were to stand up and deliver something against the Tigers that they hadn't done so long. But, spot on, Jack. I reckon you hit it on the head there.
And my favourite moment, you could have picked a few with Port Adelaide, but round 10, they beat Melbourne in the wet, and what was a really, really tough game of footy. Ken Hinkley dancing on the sidelines, showing emotion like you just mentioned, Jono. I think the reason that I've got it there is because he was the most under pressure person in footy coming into 2023, Ken Hinkley. He's clearly got a group of men that play for him and want him to stay in that job long term. He still doesn't have a contract for next year. And this could go down as one of the great stories in modern footy if Port Adelaide, who have won 10 in a row, can go all the way through and win a premiership off the back of a coach not having a contract at the start of the year. This is a team that's playing together. This is a club that's coming together, and they're going to be bloody hard to beat in the second half of the season.
Have they said as a club that no matter what, they're going to wait till the end of the season to do that?
Seems that way.
Yeah.
The other one, I think what happened in that game too, which was quite significant, Jack, as well, is Kenny went to Horn Francis because he really turned the game on the head in the last quarter. And that was a significant moment of the season as well, where a young man, like we talked about Jamara, a young man, he was telling the young man, you belong in this scene, you're the future of this football club.
Yeah. Very unlucky that Chris Johnson's couple of misdemeanours with food on air didn't make the list, actually.
Yes.
Just missed the list, Jono.
It's 2 weeks in a row. Oh, it was unbelievable.
PT and the lone commentator in the box next door, that springs to mind for me.
They've still got the shits next door about that one, don't they?
Next week, maybe we could do our top 3 clangers each.
Let's do that. That'll be a lot of fun.
What about Billy looking at Jared's notes?
How good was that?
Good.
There were words in there that Bill had no idea what they meant, but he just went with them anyway.
I like it.
Bounce the ball about 15 minutes away for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. The time for talk is done. Massive night for the Blues, massive night for the Bombers, and you'll hear it all on Triple M Footy.
Triple M Footy prime time for Jim Beam. It's set to be an epic match, and that's worth raising a Jim Beam. Drink responsibly.
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Before the D's and Pies do battle on King's birthday,
Huge crowd, massive occasion.
we celebrate footy royalty in Neil Danaher as a new batch of celebrities take on the Freeze MND slide.
We're straight to Bill Brownless. He's a big unit as we know. He's done the full flip. I don't think that was intentional. I think it was just a body weight issue.
Join the Temper Mattress call team tomorrow from 1 for Melbourne and Collingwood. Marine Hot Water and McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
When there's something to celebrate, book it. When it's time to reunite, book it. When you need actual FaceTime, book it. Whatever your reason for travelling, Choice Hotels have over 170 locations across Australia and New Zealand ready and waiting. And you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it with Choice Hotels. Terms and conditions apply.
It's tax time at Bunnings Trade. Get in quick for amazing tax time deals on brands that mean business, like the DeWalt 18-volt 9-piece combo kit with carry bag, 3 5-amp batteries and charger for just $1,999. That's over $3,200 worth of tools for just $1,999. Plus, purchase before June 30 and get a bonus Mitre saw skin or 3 5-amp batteries via redemption. Don't miss out this tax time at Bunnings Trade. Helping business is our trade.
What about cleaners?
Yep.
Mechanics? Builders?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever hard work you do, Cbus are making your money work as hard as you.
Power workers?
Yep.
Factory workers? What about truckies?
What do you think?
Cbus Super, making hard work pay off. To consider if Cbus is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
There used to be a time where finding helpful car advice wasn't as easy as it is today.
Looks like Timmy accidentally filled the petrol tank with wiper fluid.
Oh, no.
Today, though, there's a way to learn everything you ought to know about cars in this new educational podcast made in partnership with Car Sales. In just 10-minute episodes, you'll get the information you need to feel more confident when you are behind the wheel, changing the wheels, or about to buy your next set of wheels. Search everything you ought to know and download the Listener app now to listen for free.
Listener.
Ready to travel? Check. Passport's valid? Check. Travel insurance as ready as you are? There's one cover that does it all. One Cover Travel Insurance. With unlimited cover for your overseas medical expenses, including COVID-19, One Cover provides complete peace of mind. Check. onecover.com.au. The one thing you need when one thing goes wrong. One Cover is underwritten by certain underwriters at Lloyd's. Always read the PDS before purchasing. Available at onecover.com.au.
The cold and flu season has begun, so support your family and their immune system with Nature Bee Power Pollen. Power Pollen is potentiated pollen, helping your body to access amazing micronutrients fast. Right now, buy 2 months supply for $79.90 and get another 1 month for free. That's 60 capsules of immunity-boosting Power Pollen for free. Power up your family's immune defences this winter with Nature Bee Power Pollen, and you'll get 10% off your first order. Powerpollen.com.au.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Lifeblood. Be the lifeblood of footy. Search Give Blood today.
MCG is the venue and it's massive. Two clubs, a huge rivalry between them, the Bombers and the Blues. Essendon just running out onto the ground now, about to break the banner, and the Blues already out there. Jayden Laverde will play his 100th game for the Bombers, and for the Blues, Mitch McGovern will play his 100th AFL game as well. Barry Denham with you with Jack Heron on the call this afternoon or this evening, as the lights are on here at the MCG. Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson, the experts we have here tonight. Don't forget, for Ream Hot Water, built tough frozen conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. Massive game here tonight. The Bombers are in the 8, Kate, and the Blues, of course, they've lost their last 5. We heard from the president a little bit earlier in Luke Sayers. It's a real got a feel about it tonight that Carlton are here to just do something. And
Absolutely.
the Bombers might be on the end of it.
Yeah, and you couldn't write the script better. Their backs against the wall. They're really fighting for a spot to keep their season alive. We were talking off air, Baz, and if they win tonight, they're a win and a half out of the 8, so they're still in touch, believe it or not, at 4 1 draw and 7 losses. They are still in touch here. So my questions about them is obviously they're going to put all their chips on the table, throw them all in, but can they get that balance right? When to go quick, but also when to slow down, when to play possession footy and not turn the ball over as quickly as they want to Essendon.
And John, you and Kate have been there when the pressure's right on in your footy team and you've got to run out in front of a big crowd. They're expecting 75,000 here tonight at the MCG. What's going through the mind and body as you run down that race to take on an opposition that you have to beat?
Well, there's defining moments in a season, and I think tonight is a defining moment for Carlton. Carlton are in a position now where they need to win games. They need to win games in this back end of the season, not for only their own pride, but certainly within their whole football club and their supporters as well. And obviously we know what the pressure that Vossi has been coming under a little bit now, but I think what it comes back to for Carlton is all around their ball magnets. Their ball magnets in Welsh, Chara and Cripps getting their hands on the football as much as possible and getting it into their big goal kickers in Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay. And some of those little small forwards, I think, Kate, are really not doing enough for Carlton in their forward line. There's no doubt that they get the ball inside their forward 50. How do they actually then score? Why are they so reliant on the two big fellas? Some of those little medium types have got to stand up. And on the other hand, Essendon Football Club, well, they've just been outstanding. They've had the 7 wins this year. They've really been able to bring in a team. Well, you know, Brad Scott has done an amazing job there. We had Zach Merritt last week, had a dominating first quarter, and then they've had guys come through that have gone back, forward. But Cole Langford at the moment, he sits there as their number one goal kicker. And, you know, where are they going to lock him down in a position once or twice? Like, he starts in the middle, sometimes you go back. I think he's got to stay up forward, Kate.
Yeah, my thing is what they're going to do with him now that 2 metre Peter's back. So obviously you can't expect too much. I'm so excited that he's back in the team, though. Obviously their leading goal kicker from last season. But what are they going to do with Langford? Langford's really just dominating up forward. He kicked 4 last week. He's just been so consistent with his performances as a forward. Does it really disrupt their forward line bringing 2 metre Peter back? I mean, he's an athlete. He's a great player. You need to bring him back. But how's the continuity and the system work now that he is back?
Yeah, well, that's going to be the massive key there. Are they just going to keep driving the ball along where Langford actually gets on the move a little bit more? He's a bit more mobile and agile. But the one thing that I've been interested watching Essendon over the last sort of 3 to 4 weeks is Brady setting up a game plan that I'm very familiar with. He's setting up 2 wingers behind the football at stoppage around the middle of the ground and in their defensive 50 where they're always a release backwards. If there's nothing to go forward, they release backwards. But they're always the first ones to get back into defence to make it an outnumber and an outman.
Are you hinting a little bit that might be straight out of the Lee Matthews playbook?
I'm tipping it because Brad played on the wing quite a lot, and we would use him off the wing to go and tag people. But then when we didn't have a tag role for him, him and Martin Pike would play that wing position so beautifully, along with Tim Notting as well. They'd do a 3-way rotation, and that's what Brad's doing at the moment. It was really evident last week when they were able to get over North Melbourne, but that's where they get their extra number from, behind the football when the ball goes deep inside their defensive 50.
The back row full of all Australians tonight, Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson. Bob Jane T-Marts, let's go downstairs. This end of financial year, Bob Jane T-Marts have great buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cashback deals. Call or order online today. T&Cs apply. Nat, you need us on the boundary line tonight. You are a superstar before this game starts. How do you see it setting up?
I was just about to say, no all Australians down here, just a battler. But look, conditions are really good down here. I think it might be the last time we say this for the season, but it's actually quite mild. Not too much wind about either, which means that there's a bit of smoke still about from those pre-match fireworks that we just heard in the background. Subs today, Paddy Dow will be the sub for Carlton for the second time this season, or for the second week in a row. Essendon actually had a late change. Now, Andrew Phillips has come into the side. He was the emergency, and then Massimo D'Ambrosio has dropped out of the 22 and now he is the sub. So they're just keeping us on our toes, are the Bombers. Really looking forward to this one. Just pre-game, we saw all 32 premiership cups from both sides out in the middle. So the teams have really put a lot of emphasis on really building this game up and making it the rivalry that it is.
Thanks, Nat. You know, it's a big game when they trot Ethan Meldrum out for the Triple M Reds headlining stats. Heath, how do they stack up between these two sides?
G'day to you, Baz. I was actually going to say, I think I've just slid in and ruined the CV of this back row. We've got all Australians and Sunrise appearances, and then there's me. Bombers 1-3 on the trot in that time, first in the league for effective kicks and uncontested marks. And what they've done this year, they've scored more from their defensive 50 than any other team in the league by a mile. Kicked 42 goals from that source. That's 10 more than any other side. AFL teams normally average only 2 goals a game from that part of the world. Zach Merritt, last 3 weeks, number 1 ranked player in the competition. As you were saying, Jono, started like a house on fire last week. He's averaging 35 touches, going at 78% by foot in that time. Kyle Langford as well, 5th in the league for scoreboard impact, despite the fact he's playing all around the ground. For Carlton, they've lost their last 5, 7 their last 8, averaging 53 points per game in their last 4. Had to find a couple of positives, though, just to ruin Baz and make them a little bit more tense. They've got the wood on Essendon, won their last 3, 6 of their last 9, only leaking 72 points per game to Essendon over the last 7 years. That's a better record than they have against any other side. Sam Doherty, pretty crucial to that, had the maximum votes in the Triple MVP last time these two sides met.
It's a very good try, but Baz just interviewed Mark Harvey in the pre-game. He's not coming down off the cloud that he's sitting on right now. He's going to stay up there all night long.
I nearly left with him.
You could have been one out.
You were Sean Denham too. He was Decent Williams. You would bugger off and leave him alone.
MJ told me to go back to my foot.
Kate, just on the Bombers. So a lot of talk has been about Carlton coming into this game for obvious reasons. But from an Essendon point of view, they're 6th on the ladder, 7-5. If they win tonight, they hit the bye at 8-5. Now they've got Fremantle at Optus Stadium, Port Adelaide and Adelaide both in Melbourne as their next 3. So it's a challenging set of games after that. But if they hit their break at 8-5, they're on track to play finals, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And they've obviously got this system right now with Brad Scott. They took a few weeks to understand what was required from them. Obviously, a new coach, learning about it. The honeymoon period sort of ended and they had a few tough losses all in a row, and then they've strung together the last 2 wins. And I think last week was a real defining win for them. I think previously we've seen Essendon sides, and correct me if I'm wrong, Baz, but those games that they really should win during the season, they drop a couple here and there, and for their ability to really fight back, North really took it to them last week, and all the way to the final siren, Essendon just had an answer for it. And we have seen in previous seasons, there have been little bogey teams for them. The teams that are down the bottom of the ladder have caused an upset against Essendon. So I can understand fans sort of last week being like, oh, not again, not this again, but they did. They regrouped, they got their game together, and they ended up getting the win over North. And I think they take a lot of confidence from that moving into this game. And as Eath said, they haven't had the best form against Carlton either. So they'd know that. They definitely would know that, and they'd be drawing on that. And I just think the script is just set up perfectly for this to be a ripping match.
Zach Merritt's won the toss. The Bombers have kicked to the city end in the opening quarter here at the MCG. Just on Zach Merritt, John, I know you touched on him briefly, but captaincy looks pretty good on him. Some players take it and there's the extra burden of responsibility and all the other things that you need to do, and it can take away from your performance. It feels like it's made Zach Merritt a more complete player.
It is, and he's taken the responsibility right on board, and he's leading from the front. There were a couple of stages last week, Kate, which we done the game against North Melbourne, where they did have a player go to him after that first quarter. He's got to be able to, that's the next part of his development, or the next part of his leadership, is getting through a tag. When he does get a lot of the ball, they're going to put someone to him straight away. Whether they do it from the outset here tonight, we're not too sure, but we'll watch it with a close eye. But that's the next stage he's got to go through. But everything else, you've got to go tick, tick, tick for Zach Merritt this year. He's really taken his football club to another level, and he's one of the best A-grade, or one of the top A-graded midfielders going around in the competition at the moment.
And one of the great players that we've seen over the last 20 years is Paddy Cripps, and how important he tonight.
Yeah, well, he hasn't had probably from his lofty standards, obviously won the Brownlow last year, probably not performed to his ability so far in this season. Obviously, the better you go, the more attention you draw from opposition as well. But just that contested ball and his use of the footy, I feel like, hasn't quite been where it has been previous seasons. But I'm going to keep an eye on Jack Silvani tonight. He was out of the team in midweek and then got back in through injury through Mark Pittonet.
Ed Curnow goes straight to Zach Merritt in the middle. Jake Stringer in there as well. It'll be De Koning and Draper with the opening bounce of Sunday night footy for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks the MCG, and there's Merritt straight away receiving a handball from Draper. Curnow straight into his back. Now Caldwell still in the middle, trying to pick it up. Perkins went off the ground. Cottrell takes possession. And multiple Bombers swarm around him. Big crowd all the way up to the top decks in all stands here tonight as Caldwell off the stoppage, bangs it forward over the head of Wiedemann. Nervous moments here for Kemp, who was tackled by Langford, back pocket. Now they should be able to get out the Blues. Young kept it low, not a good kick coming out. And straight into the waiting arms of Jake Stringer, who marks 50 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Yeah, just didn't get a good purchase on that. It was almost a floating kick there that sort of went out by Young, and he just needed to get it probably a little bit wider. You've got to make sure when you're kicking the ball deep from your back line or deep on your defensive line, it's got to stay wide. He sort of came a little bit corridor.
Brad Scott spoke about Jake Stringer rebuilding his reputation. This would be a dream start. And it's across the face, it's not going to count. And it's off hands and through for the first score of the night. The Bombers one behind. Blues yet to score, a minute gone. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
Happy to see Kyle Langford has started forward alongside Peter Wright and Sam Wiedemann as well.
Mitch McGovern from fullback, real short to Saad, the former Bomber, marks deep back pocket. He kicks just out here towards the broadcast wing. Cottrell the target, and reading it beautifully was McGrath for the Bombers, and he slapped it out of bounds in front of the members about 70 metres around from their goal.
That was great by McGrath. Come off his opponent in Motlop, left him all alone and just went and killed that ball.
The All-Australian back row, Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy. Triple M Seabus Super special comments. A couple of Sunrise regulars as well. To Koning. Off to Wiedering. He wobbles the ball up the line to the wing. Members side here at the MCG. Motlop, quick hands inboard. Cripps tried to take it away from Charlie Curnow. And Curnow got it back. Quick kick inside the attacking 50. Essendon have got that extra back. Guelphy dropped the mark, and now he's got a problem. Took possession of the footy once again. And it's balled up 40 metres out from the Blues goal.
And there's that extra man straight away, Kate, already that Essendon are getting back there trying to outnumber the Carlton forward line.
DeConing, little slap down to the side. Martin got in the way to the Bombers. Hand pass to Heppeler at half-back. Another one over the top, gives it to Durham. Another hand pass back to Martin, who runs on. Outside defensive 50, little low drop punt to the outer side wing, and Langford takes the mark. So he stands flat-footed, does the Bomber. And the great Shane Warne stand looking magnificent right up to the top tier tonight. Big crowd. Geez, the kick was wide. In fact, out of bounds on the full, so the recipient of the free kick will be Young for the Blues. And he's on the defensive side of that wing outer side.
A couple of important matchups up forward. So Zerk Thatcher has gone to Mackay and Laverde has gone to Curnow.
Lewis Young. Cripps buried in that marking pack. To Koning likewise. At ground level, Heppel. He's had a good couple of weeks, averaging 22 disposals in his last month of footy. Corbo had to put on the handbrake. It was Perkins, in fact, and then it's a high up and under ball to half forward. Wiedemann provided the contest. Stringer provided the crumb. Ball just didn't sit quite away. It does fall into the waiting arms of Merritt, and he misses across the face. And it's been all Essendon early on. They're two behind. The Blues are yet to score. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
Opportunity gone begging there for Merritt. Had a lot more time there. Could have just steadied up and kicked the drop punt, but elected to go across his body.
The pressure of a big game, John O'Early, isn't it? You're not too sure how much time you got.
Umpire down that end, it's blown a pee, I think. His whistle is not sounding too good.
It's very sad. Didn't warm it up before the game. McGovern kicks into the centre. Dangerous ball, but if it comes off for the Blues, off hands to Motlop was good. Hand pass goes back to Cripps right in the centre of the ground. Gives Perkins a don't argue. He might have got him high. And the umpire said high contact against Cripps.
And that's Cripps there trying to take on a play where it was unnecessary. Didn't need to take him on. Had runners on the outside. All he needed to do is give that ball quickly and keep speed on the ball. But he tried to go back into the tackle and try to take on a couple of guys. Now he's paying that penalty.
Just wanted to create that situation. Perkins. Long drop punt to full forward. Right up won't mark. There's about 12 players underneath this footy, 30 from the Bombers' goal. Stringer's got his head over it. Carlton trying to work it out through McGovern. Ball still in dispute. Cherry did well. Punts it up to Walsh. And he hacks the ball out to the outer side wing that's just bouncing, Jack.
And it eventually sits Baz for Ridley. He can look back up and kick short to Dyson Heppel.
Thought there was a streaker on the field there, but it was just the guy in the high vis passing the umpire his new whistle.
Replacement whistle. It's good to see.
That's it, Ed.
Durham marks.
Play on.
He's covering the ground pretty well, isn't he?
Just outside 50, kicks to the top of the goal square. Draper and De Koning wrestle. And Guelphy gathers. Thought about having a shot himself, decided to handball back inboard. Now Wiedemann, quick hands Caldwell, and Essendon are back outside their forward 50. Zerk Thatcher has to reload, tumbly ball back towards that active top of the goal square once more. Sard will need to be quick, and it is for the Blues. He gets it on that left boot.
Yeah, it's a barrel just outside defensive 50. High bounce, always did well. Got it to Mackay, little hand pass off to Cripps. Cripps hand pass towards the wing is good, and Motlop runs onto it. Takes a bounce, nowhere really to go because no one inside forward 50, so he stops and chips inboard to Charlie Curnow. He gives it back to Big H Mackay, back to Curnow, still on the wing Charlie, runs the ball along the ground into the centre. Chera's got it, hand pass off is good, an opportunity for Cincotta, long ball, he's got it. Cincotta kicks a goal, and the Blues have got their first from 50 metres out, 6 minutes into the first term. Carlton. And that's his first career goal, one straight goal. The Bombers are 2 behinds. That's all on the Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
Well, they did well there. They played it actually really well. They had the ball in the overlap run, and then they couldn't. I think it was Harry Mackay on the wing looked up. There was absolutely no one inside 50 to go to, so he handballed it back to his mate Charlie, then looked inside, and they changed the angle completely. And by that time, Essendon had flooded all the way back into their D50, so Cincotta got it and ran all the way through and slotted it. That was outside 50, a very good finish, Heath.
Yeah, Champion Data's got that down. 65-metre kick that was from Cincotta against the run of play as well. 79% time in forward half for the Bombers so far.
Sixth game of footy tonight for Alex Cincotta. Great memory for his first goal for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M Rocks footy. Ball bounced free to Redmond, who came charging in off the back of the square. Now handballs to Stringer. Inside the centre square at the MCG. Kicks inside 50. Big pack forms. Martin stood up in the tackle, but misses the target. Walsh dispossessed by Hobbs, and that will be holding the ball.
Didn't need to take that. For some reason, Carlton players are just trying to take the tackle on all the time.
Hobbs kicks to the discipline area, right in his first game back. Marks 15 metres out directly in front. That is what the Essendon forward line has been missing all year.
Well, I think Carlton thought 2-metre Peter still wasn't playing because no one went anywhere near him. Obviously, that ball was just going to be set at the top of 50, and it was Lewis Young. He just lost complete touch. The only time anyone laid a hand on him was when he'd already taken the mark, so that's pretty disappointing from a Michael Voss and Carlton point of view.
53 goals last year, won their best and fairest. And he's back. And the Bomber fans love it. They're first of the night. They're 1-2-8. Carlton 1 straight 6. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard. Nat Yanidis for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Something different for the Blues tonight. Coach Michael Voss is coaching from the boundary. Usually starts up in the box, but he's here. He's giving the boys a pump up. Really enjoyed the run from Jesse Motlop a little bit earlier, but obviously not quite enjoying that goal and that defence on Peter Wright.
A beautiful piece of work from Peter Wright, as Jack said, returning for the Bombers. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. Don't forget at Macca's at the moment. The McFeast is back, and you can't keep a legend out of the lineup. And that's why it's back, because it is a legend. Early today, Heath, who won? The Kangaroos and the GWS.
Yeah, Giants by 28 points. Important result too. It's pushed Carlton down to 15th on the ladder.
Choice Hotels around the grounds with the great Ethan Meldrum tonight. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. Bounces good. Perkins got it for the Bombers. Hand pass to Merritt. Back to Hind by hand. Skipped around one. Hand pass to the ruckman in Big Phillips for Essendon. Little hand pass to the wing again to Hobbs, and a short ball good to Nick Martin. And he's marked 70 out from the Bombers' goal. Loads it up to right again. He got in front, didn't complete the mark. Ball spills to the deck. Walsh has got to go for the Blues. 30 out from the Bombers' goal. Sits on the bottom of the pack. And he got a shove in the back and got the free kick for Carlton.
Geez, I'm not sure Lewis Young is that matchup for Peter Wright. He's looking very dangerous early, whether it's on his head or on a lead.
So not a great kick coming out of defence from Brodie Kemp. He's put that one out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, they're under pressure at the moment, Carlton. Even though they've kicked one goal, they're still under pressure. Their defensive half are really under the pump. Repeat inside forward 50s, really making them work.
Redmond with a risky kick. He turns it over. And the Blues can set up from the back half of the ground. Ed Curnow, one of their 3 inclusions, kicks to Mackay, gave a fair old shove right in front of the umpire. He was never getting away with that. And it'll be a free kick to Jordan Ridley. Half-back flank for the Bombers, who lead by 2 points. 10 minutes gone. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
Outside 5. And he's on half-back on the broadcast side, and that's where the players' dens are. McGrath runs on straight off the den. He delivers to him.
Holding, Essendon, Phillips.
Free kick in the pack for the Bombers after the long 40-metre drop punt. Big Phillips will take it. Got held.
Stand.
Umpires exclusively, as always, mic'd up for Triple M footy. Hand pass off to Merritt. The running Merritt delivers real wide to forward 50 to Hobbs, who marks in front of the members, but he's about 52 metres out on the boundary. So he pops it up to the hot spot at full forward. Up goes right again. Got hands on the footy. Didn't bring it down. The touch not quite there yet. 12 players over the top of the ball. Guelphy's got it. Dragged off his kick. Trying to work it out. Chin Cotter in that pack. Hand pass Motlop. Got bumped off it. Langford's got it for Essendon forward 50. Gave it to Martin. Back to Langford by hand. Hand pass over the top. Back to Nick Martin. Runs into Chin Cotter, who hung on to him. Hand pass off to Snelling. Still 40 from the Bombers' goal. Stringer's got it. Gave the don't argue. Hand pass Langford. On hands and knees. Hand pass to Wiedemann. Hand pass back into a pack drag down in the tackle. The Bomber. And the umpire to ball it up. Still 30 from their goal.
Sapping a lot of energy out of this back defender, the defenders for Carlton. Ball living in that territory quite a bit.
Thrown up 30 out from goal. Kennedy around the stoppage for Carlton. Ran into a brick wall in form of his teammate Cripps, who was given the footy and then dropped it. Umpire said play on. Tackle pressure early on from the Bombers, Kate, is outstanding.
Pressure is off the charts from Essendon. They have come to play.
Red Z lending Heath, some of the major ball winners early on.
Well, that pressure factor for Essendon so far, 223. They rank 18th in the comp. Martin, Perkins, Stringer all leading the way, 7 touches apiece.
Young had a fresh airy. He's had a pretty average start to this game. Now Walsh tries to handball his way out of defensive 50. Motlop puts it into the path of Doherty on the members' wing.
It bounced up for him, but then he ran into McGrath, laid a beautiful tackle. Ball spilled to Ridley for Essendon. Low drop punter to the chest of Hobbs again. He's 70 from home. Squares it up with the ball to Martin. Loads up, does the young man to the left forward pocket. Right! Play on, not paid the mark. He just looked the umpire, stopped and said, I've got it. And the umpire said, get stuffed. Hand pass off to Langford, who had a shot. And he kicked the point. But they all just all stopped.
Everyone stopped. Even the Carlton players stopped.
Harvey Norman replay. There it is.
Wow, that's a mark every day of the week. That is ridiculous.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Shop massive savings store-wide. Visit us in-store or online.
What more does he actually need to do for that to be paid a mark?
I'll tell you what, though, he is looking on fire early. He's been out. He has not played a game this season, and he's just lighting it up in forward 50. They love using him down there too.
Mackay marks on the wing and looks for his running mate Curnow. Off hands at the back, Motlop. Little step inside, kicks with the outside of the boot. And it's kicked the wrong side of the Sharon. It bounces end on end into the left forward pocket. Punt road end. Time for Akers, who got a nice shepherd. Has to think about what to do next. Decided to go himself, and it falls short. And Phillips escorts it through for a behind. Carlton 1-1-7. Essendon 1-3-9. 13 minutes gone. Triple M Lifeblood
That was
scoreboard.
some poor footy from the Blues there. There was a couple of players out. He needed to lower his eyes. Poor Jack Silvani got torched twice in that passage of play.
Well, what they're doing now, Carlton, they're just panicking when they're getting through half forward inside their forward 50.
Hine runs off half back for the Bombers, tucks it under his arm, takes a bounce and delivers a nice one into the arms of Menzies, but it was bumped off his hands and out of bounds. Boundary thrown on the wing out of side. The Bombers 1-3-9, the Blues 1-1-7. 13 and a half first term. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard. Be the lifeblood of footy. Surge, give blood today.
We'll go around the grounds to the Oval very shortly as well in the Test Championship. It's Cottrell. Kicks to half forward. Good contest by Curnow. Always waits down front and centre. Nobody comes at him. Vacant goal square from 55. Bounces it through for a behind. The Blues have had the last 2 scoring shots, but haven't been able to cash in. They're 1-2-8. Essendon 1-3-9. 14 minutes gone. Choice Hotels around the grounds, Heath.
Yeah, play about to get underway. India need 280 to win on day 5 against Australia. 7 wickets in hand. So if Heather and I start zoning out the next 2.5 hours, Baz, you know exactly why.
That's yes. A long kick from full-back that's punched back inside the Blues forward 50. Charlie Curnow got caught high, and a free kick 40 out slide angle goes his way.
Well, the concerning thing for me at the moment is that the Essendon defenders are playing quite high and they're getting beaten back to their forward or their defensive 50 here, and this is why they've kept this ball inside their forward 50. Being able to get another shot here, that was all high on Curnow there any day of the week.
Harvey Norman replay confirming 33 goals, 15 from set shots this year, Charlie. He goes to the punt road end, 48 out. He might have hooked this. He's hit the post. Hit the left goal post. And scores tied up. 1-3 apiece here at the MCG. 15 first term. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
Yeah, agree with you, Jono. A couple of times, well, probably 3 or 4 times now, the ball's gone inside a vacant 50. So Essendon defenders, what we call it, is flattening out. So if all of you are in one line, it's not good. You need to really stagger that line so at least someone's deep.
Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson, Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. It's been hard work for the Bombers. They've handballed their way all the way into the middle of the MCG, and now Caldwell flicks a kick out wide to Durham, underneath the Shane Warne stand. Bounces one to half forward, not his best kick, and Silvani attacks the footy with a full chest and then kicks quickly. Gains about 35 metres, and the bounce eludes Ridley. Over the top for Charlie Curnow. He bombs away from 65. And again, they kick into a vacant 50, Chris Johnson, where no one's home.
Well, they're panicking. When they get the ball inside their forward half, they're panicking because all that Charlie Curnow needed to do is just soak up a little pressure. Had a runner coming from behind. Easy handball. He runs that into 40 metres goal and has a shot from there. So at the moment, they're just panicking, thinking they've got not a lot of time. They just need to think a little bit better when they're going forward here.
The good news is, though, they're creating the opportunities. So if they can fix that up, they can hit the scoreboard.
Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson. If you love your family, look after your mates, you'll be listening to them. Their quality. Kick outside defensive 50 from the Bombers, Snelling. He delivers to Hobbs, who's had a bit of it in this first term. Long ball across the wing from him. In front of the pack, Phillips sort of flung himself forward. The umpire said he got a shove in the back, and he's got it forward of the wing for Essendon, the big ruckman.
That was against Young again. Young's having a stinker start to this game.
Phillips loads up and goes long to Draper, who let out from full forward. Punts to ground level to Langford. Dragged down and a tackle by McGovern. Holding free kick will go Essendon's way, I think. So have a look at the Harvey Norman on that one. He got tackled with ball. Did they hang on too long, Kate?
Yeah, so the Blues aren't happy because it was one of the Essendon players, I think it was Wiedemann, took the kick and missed. If he got that, the umpire, I dare say, would have called play on and it would have been advantage goal. You can't kind of give the player 2 bites at the cherry. If they miss it, they're obviously taking the advantage, so it should be a behind.
That's your line, Carl. Thank you.
So Langford walks back with the footy and he'll kick this from about 42 metres out without a real angle to speak of. He's had a big year up forward, hasn't he? 24 goals already this year. Enjoying his role. The Bombers trail by a point before the kick. Langford to the city end. 18 minutes first term, drops it onto the right boot. The drop punt looks good. It's home. Bombers 2-3-15. The Blues 1-4-10. 18 first term on the Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
Well, it's just good work by the Bombers. They just keep getting it inside their forward 50. Bit of a clumsy in the back from McGovern there. Just went into his back nicely. You can't afford to do that right in front of goals. But I feel at the moment Essendon are using the ball better when they're coming through the middle of the ground. They're making better decisions by hand and by foot. They know when to slow things down. They don't just go forward because of the sake of going forward. They actually slow the ball down, wait for numbers to get inside their forward 50, and then they take off and go, where Carlton, on the other hand, are just blazing away inside their forward half.
And they look super dangerous inside 50, whether it's in the air or whether it's the big guys bringing the ball to ground. Their smalls are all around the footy where they need to be, and their talls are either clunking it or bringing it to that position.
So it's the Bombers by 5 points. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Nice tap down from Draper. Ball in dispute, still inside the centre circle. Now he lays a tackle on Chera.
Back this way.
Umpire comes in and calls for it. Umpires tonight, Robert Finlay, Curtis DuBois, Chris Donlan and Jacob Mollison, 4 of our most experienced. Hobbs kick smothered. Might have got in the back. He has. Given away a free kick. Adam Chera to take it. 30 disposals last week and uses the runner off half-back. They head wide to Jack Martin, who's in for his first game since round 1. Left foot ball squared it up. It was to the right spot, but his teammates stopped leading. And that's an easy mark for Jaden Laverty.
Kenny just didn't come at the ball. The ball was going to hit him on the chest. He just waited and waited for it. Don't know what was happening there.
Kick across, half-back for the Bombers. Ends up with Heppel on the Shane Warne stand side of the ground, the outer side. From where we sit in the Triple M box. Heppel goes back inboard to Perkins. So Essendon in no hurry to get this out, taking their time, just chipping it around. Hine wants it short. And Laverde it is who goes long to the outer side to Koning. Big leap over the pack. Durham at the bottom of it. Shuffled out a hand pass for the Bombers to Snelling. Went to pick it up, coming the other way. The Blues track it down through Wiedering. Quick kick out of the pack, and Charlie Curnow marks 55 from the Blues goal.
Inside 50s.
Play on.
And he's got one-on-ones. He fancies his chances from long range. And has kicked a third behind in the opening quarter. And again, Carlton pepper away. They're 1-4-10. Essendon 2-3-15. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard. You're shaking your head, John.
Yeah, well, they're coach killers. They're long points. You don't want long points. You're just handing the ball straight back to the opposition. You're not forcing your opposition to defend anything. You rather put it to the top of the goal square to force your opposition to defend rather than just handing the ball straight back to them.
Long kick to the outer side wing. Nice fly, Wiedering, who marks true wing for the Blues. Chips inboard to Sard. He runs in towards the centre. Kicks across ground to Akers on his own. Akers has time to set up. Who's going to lead? He goes to the pocket to Silvani in a one-on-one. Jack goes up, brings it to ground. Bombers coming in numbers. Redmond, back of the pack to clean up, goes short and finds Nick Martin right on defensive 50. Nat Unitas on the boundary.
Jack Silvani contesting for that mark. Wasn't to be for him, though, but he was furious with Charlie Curnow earlier when he overlooked him in the goal square.
Bob Jane T-Marts, of course, who Nat represents tonight, this end-of-year financial. Bob Jane T-Marts have great buy three, get one free, plus instant cashback deals. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply.
And, Jono, further to your point about the long points that they're kicking, Heath said before the game they're the number one team to go from their defensive 50 Essendon to their forward 50 and kick a goal. So you'd know that coming in. So you don't want to give them that many opportunities to do that to you.
Langford from the wing. Kicks long to half forward. Wright's had a presence early on, this time on his hands and knees, trying to make it work. Perkins has started well. Handballed out the back and into the arms of Lewis Young. Doherty by hand to Chera. And now McGovern, they look up ahead and they're going to have to use the corridor. And that's what they do with Walsh, who's then got Akers, who's snuck down from half-back. He's 65 out, not sure what to do. Cuts back inside. Time for a bounce. Next kick, an important one. He kicks a high up and under ball with no intended target. Good contest by Cottrell. At least got it to ground. And Cripps still fighting for it. 30 metres out from the Blues' goal. Hines got him. Umpire comes in and calls for it.
Jack, you're looking at me smiling because the forward entries are terrible at the moment, Carlton, not giving their forwards any opportunity.
Phillips tapped down. Now he's on the end of it. Got a kick smothered from 25 out. Curnow, Big Charlie tries to chase it into the pocket. The Bombers with a long clearing kick outside defensive 50 to a 2-on-2. Right in front, didn't mark. Guelphy puts his head over it. Ran into Doherty. Ripping tackle from him. Hand passed over his head in hope, and Stringer was there. Broke a tackle. Runs off half-back. Long ball to Draper across the wing. In front, no mark taken by Wieding. Brings it to ground. High contact to Wieding against Big Draper, and he'll take it at half-back in front of the members for the Blues.
But the positive thing with it, Kate, too, is that they're actually looking better. They're moving the ball better through the back half and through the middle of the ground, Carlton. So there's some good positive signs. They just need to finish it off.
Wiedering told to play on. Looks for De Koning and Mackay, who spoil each other at half forward. The big boys got in each other's way. McGrath and set up from half-back for the Bombers. Clever little kick inside. He's got Stringer.
Side 5. Play on.
Game number 183 tonight. Long for right at half forward. He was swamped. Young, Wiedering, McGovern all get across and knock it out of bounds for a throw in.
Jacob's watching.
Carlton 1-5-11 have had their chances early on. They trail the Bombers 2-3-15. Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard. Be the lifeblood of footy and search Give Blood today.
In front of the members, it's Draper and De Koning. The Bombers half of the ground, 70 from home. Snelling gives it to Perkins by hand. Hand pass Martin. Advantage paid. Perkins was dumped. Merritt runs away after receiving it. Long kick towards full forward. 15 metres out. No mark taken. Guelphy got his head over it. Runs into three Blues who wrap him up. He stands in the tackle. And the umpire to ball it up. Still 20 metres out from Essendon's goal at the city end of the ground.
Get Nick Martin's numbers in a moment. He's been busy early on. Stringer trying to control the ball in the forward pocket. Couldn't gather. Chincotta's handball charged down. Now Chera works together with Sard, who kicks around the corner. And Heppel, a late whistle, it was there. Chop of the arms, high contact, take your pick. Bombers free kick. 65 metres out. Heppel pulls his kick, trying to find a marking target. McGovern got a fist on it. Wiedemann, hands free to Caldwell. Missed him in the end. Sard has to go back in the back pocket and drag that ball back in, which he's done. He might have a problem now. He got away with it.
Thanks, guys. Out this way.
Ball up, right forward pocket, City end. Ethan Meldrum, Red Z Lenders.
Yeah, Nick Martin leading the way, already up to 12 disposals, number one ranked player on the ground, only averages 20 a game this season, so well ahead of pace.
Bombers out of the pack. It's Stringer, a little snap to the right of the goal post, and it's a point. Essendon lead by 5 of those. 5 points up, 25.5 first term. Ethan Meldrum there with the Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com. It's been a hectic start to this game.
Play on.
We tick up to 26 minutes gone. Mitch McGovern in game number 100. Long out of defence. Draper climbs all over the Mackay, and DeConey and knocks that out of bounds for a throw in.
Tom, Sam.
So Peter Wright, Kate, only one disposal so far, but
Zach, Ed, what
are you seeing that's making a difference to this Bombers forward line already in a quarter?
I just like the way they use him. They obviously know that he likes the ball just out on the lead a little bit, but he's also taking arguably the best defender for the Carlton because he's had such an impact early. So I don't know if they'll keep Lewis Young on him for too much longer.
Free kick off the ball, Baz. It's going to go to Zach Merritt at half forward.
And he plays on, Jack. He goes for the low drop punt inside towards right. He's slapped away on that occasion. The Blues work hard at half-back. Doherty got it to DeConey. His kick was partially smothered. Redmond bursts out of the centre, grabs the footy, hand pass to Nick Martin, who's been busy. Kicks across towards Snelling. Sard read it well. Spoils it and runs along the ground to try and trap it before the boundary. Got it to Cottrell. Back to Sard by hand. Then the Motlop on the wing. Little chip over the top to Mackay. Too tall for Nick Martin. He marks on the wing out of side.
They're lined up in the corridor here. He's got to come inboard.
That's what he does to Chin Cotter.
Outside 5.
Kick the Blues first of the night and the first of his career.
Play on.
He's going to go long and wide. Laverde camped under it, should have marked that ball and didn't. It slips through his fingertips and out of bounds. Throw in, 60 metres around from goal. The Bombers 2-4, the Blues 1-5. It's a 5-point lead, Triple M Lifeblood scoreboard.
So a tight first term, just the 3 goals scored. Huge build-up, 75,000 they're telling us in here tonight at the MCG. As Draper and DeConing go at it, slap down the ground level. Doherty, quick kick out of the pack, bounces forward pocket for the Blues. Ridley's got to go. He does, tackled by Owies. Ball went out of bounds with him. The umpire said throw it back into play. Still about 20 metres around from Carlton's goal. Still 15 seconds on the clock. A chance here for the Blues. Bombers by 5 points.
Bit going on there too. Bit of feeling in this game. The Blues have lost 5 in a row. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to the Bombers too. Have won their last 3. Cripps over the footy. Dragged it back in. Martin's on top of him. Gone.
Dragged it in. Essendon.
Quick call from the umpire, but was there. Both teams just feeling each other out in this opening quarter. It's set for a big, big night at the MCG. Essendon 2-4-16, leading Carlton 1-5-11. The full team's assembled. Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy, Nat Unides on the boundary for Bob Jane T-Marts, Ethan Meldrum, the People's Caller Barry Denner, and Jack Everin. That's your Sunday night call team. And for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
The footy's on Triple M.
That quarter for Lifeblood. Be the lifeblood of footy. Search Give Blood today.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
the McFeast is back. You can't keep a legend out of the lineup.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football.
Footy's on the radio.
Max, go on.
One thing they always say about Scott Pendlebury is because he played basketball.
Don't they?
Look how much time he's got.
There is 2 stories that always get called out. One is Scott Pendlebury played basketball, and I had a dart on the way to training.
They're the two.
They are the 2.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank, happily clever after. T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18+, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Imagine a time, far from now, where all of the world's energy is generated from 100% renewable sources. Well, now that day isn't someday, it's today. Here at Pacific Blue, we generate 100% clean energy from renewable sources like the wind, and we have done for more than 30 years. Pacific Blue, generating 100% clean energy. Now, discover more at pacificblue.com.au.
Our favorite tune at Wild Turkey is the one that comes from within. It led Jimmy Russell to perfect our one-on-one bourbon. Where will your song take you? Over 18s only. Drink responsibly. Wild Turkey. Trust your spirit.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. Professional tilers, upgrade your tile machines and tools at National Tiles before June 30 and get an instant 100% tax deduction. That's right. Professional tilers, upgrade your tile machines and tools at National Tiles before June 30 and get an instant 100% tax deduction. So start the new financial year with your all-new tools from National Tiles with a 100% tax deduction before June 30. So rush into National Tiles now and save. Conditions apply.
JB Hi-Fi is smashing tax time this weekend with a crazy 10% off Apple MacBook computers. Get an extra 15% off any TV and soundbar when you buy them together. Extra 15% off, that's nuts. Plus tax more tax time deals. JB, you've done it again.
Life can take a toll on your teeth. From the sugars.
Dr. Harry, can I drill you about your marketing?
Sure.
So how do you measure the success of your radio advertising?
Hits to the website, the appointments that we see.
Why do you think radio works best for you guys?
It just makes all of our other marketing channels work better.
I've never had braces.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Ouch. Discover the unlimited ways radio can supercharge your other marketing at commercialradio.com.au. Radio. Unlimited.
Vodafone's end of financial year sale is now on. And with great value being more important than ever, we're doubling your data. Get a massive 80 gigabytes of data for just $45 a month on our small SIM-only plan. Make your move and save with Vodafone today. Offer ends 3rd July 23, TNC apply.
How good's this? At Coles Express, all your lunch needs are sorted. For just $10, you can get any 2 Coles Express branded 175-gram hot food items, plus a selected drink and chocolate bar. To get it all for just $10, express yourself at Coles Express.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with their new range of standard to premium switches. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
It's quarter time at the MCG. Big game feel about it tonight. More than 75,000 in the house. It's Essendon who lead 2-4-16 to the Blues at 1-5-11. Their one goal coming through Alex Chincotta, Kyle Langford and Peter Wright, the goal kickers for Essendon. It's all for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. Let's start with some of our Red Z lenders, Heath, from that first quarter.
Yeah, a lot of the numbers actually quite even for the game in terms of the inside 50s, the territory, whatever. Essendon only +2, but once it gets inside that forward 50, Essendon's so much more efficient. Disposals 22-4, possessions 23-3, forward 50 tackles 12-3. Essendon doing a lot better at retaining the footy once they get it inside that forward 50. Nick Martin leading the way, 13 disposals to quarter time, number 1 ranked player on the ground. Perkins and Stringer going at 9 apiece. Chair the most for Carlton with 8.
For Bob Jane T-Marts this end of financial year, Bob Jane T-Marts have a great buy 3, get 1 free deal plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. Nat Unity's boundary side.
Very robust conversation between Michael Voss and his forwards coach Ash Hansen. Obviously the Carlton forward line not functioning the way that they would like to see it. Haven't seen as much of Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay both inside 50 at the same time. Both been playing quite high up the ground.
Well, we just had a little malfunction in the quarter-time break here in the Triple M box. Baz has just been handed a little bit of the half-time sustenance. He's the people's caller.
Yeah.
He needs fuel to keep going.
I do.
Was handed one of those little squeezy tomato sauces, and as he went to catch it, his hands are that thick and that strong that the sauce has burst and squirted all over his face.
It did, and I can't talk about it, Jack, because I think there's legal implications of suffered a workplace injury. I'll be making a few calls after the game.
Baz has got sauce in the eye. Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy.
Right in my eye.
Try and make sense of that and try and make sense of the first quarter.
Yeah, I think the first quarter, obviously the positives for Carlton was they got some good field position. They almost evened up the inside 50s. Essendon went inside 50 a lot in the early part of the quarter, but they were only +2 by the end of the quarter. And I think we touched on it during the call, and it's the talk of the first quarter, just that lack of synergy with their forwards and their midfielders. They're obviously trying to move the ball a little bit differently than they have previously in the season, so that obviously causes differences in their leading patterns and how high they want to get up the ground. So they need to fix that, but I think the thing that will fix it, Chris, is just some composure going forward.
Composure, that's all they need to do. Stop kicking long points. But one thing I do think that's working for him is obviously Ed Curnow going to Zach Merritt. That's really working. He's only had the 5 disposals, and when Ed Curnow goes off, Doherty goes straight to him as well. So that's a team tag almost now.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Bombers start the second term leading by 5 points. Draper out of the centre, kicks it off the ground just inside forward 50. Heavy tackles laid. The umpire's sure that a ball lifts up. He will. Bob Jane T-Mart's Nat.
Interesting move by the Blues. They've started their skipper Patrick Cripps on the bench in this second term.
The ball to be thrown up. 49 from the Bombers' goal. Punt road in this second term. Tapped down by Draper to Hobbs. Good tackle by Akers. He got boot to ball. Stringer, big leap early. Went too early. Got in the back of his Blues opponent on that occasion, and that was Shearer. And he'll take it at half-back.
Red Z landing stats, bit of chat about Paddy Cripps' form. Only the 2 handballs to quarter time, no kicks.
Kate, in modern footy with rotations and all that sort of stuff, is that strange that the captain would start on the bench in the second quarter?
No, it would just be their rotations, their time on ground, that they want to manage that. So start him off and then get him on really quickly into the second quarter.
Adam Sard at half-back. 61 games as a Bomber. 48 with the Suns, and now plying his trade at Princess Park. Curnow, big fly on the wing. Couple of bites of the cherry and marks. And if he goes quickly, he's got Mackay in a one-on-one inside 50. Instead, decides to open up the ground. He looks next to the centre circle, and he's got Boyd.
So Boyd called the play on. And the low drop punt about 45 metres inside forward 50, but it fell short from Mackay. And Heppel was standing in the hole and virtually marked unopposed. He goes backwards with a 30-metre drop punt across a goal. The goal is defending to Heppel.
And the reason he marked that unopposed, Baz, is because Martin came right up the ground and got ignored, and they didn't use him. If they've got someone sitting back, they've got to try and scan the ground and look for that opponent or where their teammate is and not kick it directly back to their opponents, because they're just setting up behind the ball so well at the moment, Essendon.
Perkins to Menzie by foot. And he kicks out to the outer side wing. De Koning up, didn't mark. Chera, bottom of the pack, does well for the Blues. Hand pass over the top to Young. Another one back to Wiedering. He's got a bit of space, but he's missed the target in Doherty. And the ball rolls out of bounds, true wing position. And an opportunity for the Blues goes begging. The Bombers by 5 points.
A little bit of perceived pressure there. They obviously bought it in the first term. Essendon, Jake Stringer was on the run to try and chase him down as he kicked it. He was nowhere near him, but when they bought that much pressure in the first quarter, that's what you think when someone's coming.
That's the voice of Kate McCarthy on Triple M Footy. Brought to you by Seabus Super. Good mark by McGovern at centre half back. Like that high ball coming in. The Blues 1-5, Bombers 2-4. And again, Carlton, who had their issues kicking in front of goal all season, have started that way tonight. 50-50 ball into the middle. Sits up nicely for Owies, and he chips to Martin. That build-up wasn't too bad. Martin marks 45 out, 45-degree angle.
They finally went through the corridor. They've been trying to switch it all night, but then they keep coming to the open side once they have got that ball. Doherty took the ball. It didn't go to the target, but it was good enough for Adam Chera to then look up and see Jack Martin, who was just inside 50, but that time they didn't bomb it long and turn it over.
Injured his calf in round one, and we haven't seen him since then. He's been brought back into the team tonight to give them a little bit of X factor. From right on 50, that's off to the right, and that is where it stays. The Blues 1-6. The Bombers 2-4. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. We've been going the best part of 4 minutes in this second term.
So Ridley from fullback.
Stand.
Very short to Perkins. Straight up the ground, about 20 metres for the Bombers. So deep inside his defensive 50. Essendon hang on to a 4-point lead. Just a 3 goals scored in the match. 4 minutes now into the second term. Kick here to the wing broadcast side. Guelphy got it from Heppel by hand. Hand pass inboard towards Snelling, cut off by the Blues. 3-on-1 their way here. They're a chance. McGovern, he got it punched up to him by Chera. Hand pass off to Sam Walsh. Long ball, 1-on-1 inside forward 50. Mackay and Zerk Thatcher. And Mackay with a free kick being held. And he's on a 45-degree angle who kicked from about 25 out.
That's what you want to see from your big forward. If he was out of position, and what he did, he just kept fighting and fighting for this front position, and he was able to draw a free kick. There's nothing better than seeing a big forward fighting and using his strength to actually hold his position.
Big Harry, his 99th game tonight. He settles with a footy, kicks across the body, squares himself up as he got it. Redmond was right on the line, and the umpire said he touched it. It's a point to the Blues. 1-7 they are, 13. The Bombers 2-4-16.
Well, you could hear the murmurs of the crowd when he had the set shot, and they're the ones where he's sort of on that 45-degree angle where he hasn't been sure whether he wants to kick the drop punt or go around the corner. I swear the last few weeks he's been taking those drop punts. Now he decided to go around the corner tonight.
He kicked 3-2 last week against Melbourne, had 2-7 in the month prior. Essendon quickly transitioned from the kick-in to Draper at centre-half forward. He gets back over his mark. Guelphy all on his own in the forward pocket. Diving down. Couldn't hang on to the mark, and now Wiedering picks it up with one hand. Curnow on defensive 50. Shrugs the first tackle, got run down from behind, and just got his kick away in time. Bounce was a shocker for McGrath. Akers beelines the footy with Redmond on the wing. Great contest, both players. Kennedy handballs inboard to Chera.
And he's got space, and he goes long inside to Owies. It'll bounce his way. Picks it up 50 out. Has a look at the goals at the city end. It's going to land short. Martin on his own in the square.
Front on contact.
Front on contact to him, so he'll get the free kick. Geez, he nearly plucked the mark sideways. Plays on and kicks the goal for Carlton. The Blues hit the front at the MCG. They lead it by 3 points, 2-7-19. The Bombers 2-4-16. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with our new range of standard to premium switches. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
Well, let's go back to this contest here on the wing. It was Blake Akers and Mason Redmond. Both just had eyes for the footy and put their heads over it. Luckily, no head clashes, nothing to come of it, but that was just a fantastic contest. After the goal was scored, they both went up to each other, gave each other a high five and just said, great effort, mate. You love to see that.
Well, they've come coast to coast. They went from the back pocket. They turned the ball over in the back pocket, and that was a massive contest. That's what our game's all about. Two warriors going straight at the ball, not taking their eyes off the ball. No one actually tried to harm each other, but it was just two guys attacking the football. That's what we love about our game.
The Blues back in front. They've started well in this second term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Caldwell and Kennedy compete in the middle. Kennedy won it out and kicks quickly inside forward 50. Curnow with a full chest couldn't mark. Redmond had it. Dispossessed. Doherty picks it up. Off to Martin for 2 in a minute. Misses. 2-7 becomes 2-8 for Carlton. Essendon 2-4. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Short kick to Draper out in the wing and he marks. Draper, the big ruckman for the Bombers, lopes a drop punt just across the wing out of side, but straight into the arms of Wiedering. You forget what a dangerous player Jack Martin is. I mean, as Kate said, he's been out since round 1. And inside forward 50, always involved.
He's a talented player. He's been moving quite well tonight, but he hasn't been used.
Motlop punches up a hand pass to Cripps as the Blues search inside forward 50, but Cripps' kick off the side of the boot out in the full, and Ridley to bring it back in for the Bombers.
You're right, but he's a high talented player too. He's certainly in Carlton's best side, but he just hasn't been able to get any continuity in getting out in the paddock.
Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy, Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Nick Hine inside defensive 50. That's not a good kick. Redmond slipped over. The kick wouldn't have made the distance regardless, and Charlie Curnow was minding his own business. Marks 45 metres out.
Well, he's certainly got the distance. It's all about the accuracy now. We've seen what he'd done in the first quarter. He was launching them from outside 50, kicking long points. This is certainly within his range. It's all around the accuracy now.
38 goals coming into tonight. equal in the Coleman medal with Jeremy Cameron. That's 4 behinds for Charlie. 2-9 to 2-4. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 9 minutes, but it's all Bombers in this second quarter. All Blues, I should say, Kate, in this second quarter.
It is, Jack, but they could have really made them pay if they'd been able to kick straight in this second quarter. They've had a number of inside 50s in a row, a number of marks inside 50 as well, and just missing those set shots.
Carlton's attack on the footy, and when the Bombers have got it, their attack on the Bombers sensational that time. They caught a player high in Hobbs, who's got a free kick at half back, so the Blues have lifted. Hobbs called the play on McGovern on his haunches on the mark. Keep your eye on him. Long kick across the wing, outer side of the ground. Off hands, Akers contract this for Carlton and does. Got a bit of space just inside the boundary. Real high ball, travels about 40 metres. Underneath it, Mackay brings it to ground. Free kick Carlton. And Mackay to take it. Chips inboard to Kennedy. He's still just forward of the wing, outer side of the ground. He wants the corridor. Chincotta, the target, went over his head to Saad.
Luckily, Saad was there for support. Good kick wide to half forward. And Cottrell marks 55 metres out, got back over his mark and puts it out in front of Jack Martin, who marks right forward pocket. City end at the MCG. The Blues have kicked 1 goal for this quarter. What are some of the Red Z lenders, Heath, from quarter number 2?
Yeah, it's all contested ball Carlton's way. They were -6 in the first term. They're now +9 alone in this quarter, 14-5 their way.
A tough shot from the pocket. He's a player with mercurial ability. Instead, pulls a head fake and squares it up to the top of the goal square. The pack forms, and it's balled up. Cripps couldn't get his kick away. Choice Hotels around the grounds, Heath. We've got a wicket at the Oval.
Yeah, and it's the big wicket of Virat Kohli, Scott Boland, one seaming away, about 6 stump line. Virat Kohli's flashed at it. Really good catch by Steve Smith at second slip.
Phillips taps it down. Oh, he's on the end of it, though. His kick smother went out of bounds. Boundary throw in, right forward pocket for the Blues. So Kohli's out, Heath. Are you calling it?
Yeah, I'm calling it. It's
Aussies are home.
I don't mind that kick by Jack Martin. That kick from Jack Martin, sorry to straighten up a bit, boys, but that kick from Jack Martin was a perfect kick, what we're talking about, long behinds. If he could have kicked the behind, would have given the ball straight back to Essendon, but they've still got the ball inside their forward 50.
Now Hobbs in the back pocket, got one high, Cottrell late, and then Mackay in after that, right into the back of Ben Hobbs. Triple M Harvey Norman replay. No doubt in that one, Kate.
No, I think Cottrell was just trying to make a point of hitting him hard, but he just didn't quite assess it properly and got him high.
Now Hobbs back up onto his feet. Kicks to the members' wing here at the MCG in front of a packed crowd. Wiedering tries to reload for Carlton. Kick was touched and off hands. Redmond is happy to see it over. Mackay dumps him, and the Bombers aren't happy with it.
He didn't dump him. Redmond went to ground. He dropped his legs so that he would go to ground to try and milk a free kick.
Hard up against the fence. There's plenty of emotion in this game. 21 plays 16. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. The Blues in front.
It's almost what Carlton need is a Jack Martin to stand up. We spoke about at the start of the game that we know they got their 2 big brutes down there, but they needed a medium type to stand up, and Jack Martin looks to be that man tonight.
Boundary throw in, Carlton get the better of it. Little hand pass comes out to Kennedy. He kicks the ball to the hot spot. Martin up again. Nearly not quite, spills to Motlop. Tackled, lost the footy. Free kick to the Bombers. Advantage paid. They'll run out of half back. Nick Martin's got it for Essendon. Hand pass off to Caldwell. Goes out wide with a kick to the Weed. And Wiedemann marks on the wing. Hand pass off to Redmond. Redmond doubles back. He's got Snelling inboard. Still on the wing, and he takes the mark for the Bombers.
Blues have got some numbers back. So the Bombers will have to chip their way up. Here's Caldwell. 27 disposals last week. Kicks to half forward and has Wiedemann. 60 out from goal. Back to a dangerous area. Squares it up for Martin, who took it out of the hands of Snelling. So take your pick of 2 Bombers. That was too easy.
That was smart. It was just smart, and it was all around patience. They just took their time. They worked it around. They knew they couldn't bomb it long because Carlton had men back, which you called so well, Jack. They got numbers back behind the footy, Carlton, so they just had to lower the eyes.
Choice Hotels, Heath, another wicket at the Oval.
Oh, it feels like I'm back at home. Scott Boland, 2 wickets and 3 balls while I'm sitting here at the MCG. India 5 for 179.
And Nick Martin has 14 disposals to his name already. Leads all comers on the ground from just inside 50. He's off to the right. And a minor score, the Bombers' first score of this second term. They're 2-5-17, Carlton 2-9-21. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Sam Walsh just came on after the interchange at the same time that Mason Redmond was making his way to the bench. Had a little bit of something to say to him about that effort over in the far pocket.
Young hand pass off to Boyd. And Boyd for the Blues runs out of the back pocket, line whistle as the players flew for the mark, and free kick to Carlton. Mackay to take it. So he's on the wing, defensive side, a long way from home. He's got Ed Curnow out wider to the boundary, elects to ignore that. And the drop punt will set sail to forward 50. Half forward flank. Off hands Charlie Curnow. Runs back to about 55 out. Finds a loose Cripps by hand. Little scrubby ball to Silvani. Had his back turned. Bounced off his back to Merritt for the Bombers. Got it to Laverde, then to Hobbs, then to Heppel, then to McGrath. They run off half back. Corbell. Drop punt back here to the wing. Flying and attempted a mark was good from Young. And snuck out in front of his opponent in Peter Wright and took the mark.
Paddy Cripps just horribly out of form, isn't he? And the thing that you do when you are out of form, you try and reinvent the wheel. You try and take those real tricky kicks where really you just need to go back to basics, lay your tackles, get your kicks, kick them long, and get your confidence back up that way.
What are his numbers, Heath? Paddy Cripps, Red Z Lending.
Paddy Cripps, just the 4 disposals of the 44 players on the ground. He's ranked 42nd.
And Wiedering marks, too far out to score. Punches a kick low, nice pick up by Doherty off his ankles, but it gave a handball to Akers, who was charged down straight away. The Bombers tackling pressure is there once again, and they force the ball up. Plus 12 in the tackle count. They trail by 4 points. Chera off the stoppage. Gave a handball to Cripps, who's just outside 50. Looked with a little kick for Owies, and Hine charges it down, fists it away, and then escorts it all the way to the boundary line.
One thing that's really been good for me, or what I've seen this quarter for Carlton, is their back seven have really played a real vital part in them getting in front here. They're working the ball well through the middle of the ground. They're beating their one-on-one contest. They're bringing it to the ground, and then they're spreading quite well. So they're setting it up behind the football.
Two-time Premiership superstar Chris Johnson here tonight with Kate McCarthy. Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Boundary throwing. Players pile on top of the pill. The umpire to ball it up. That's 6-7 players get up off the ground. Phillips for Essendon in the ruck. Silvani for the Blues. Silvani might have got over the top, tapped it, but Martin was in the way for the Bombers. Nick Martin. Heppel tried to barge through the pack. Cripps got in the way. Nice hands this time to Walsh. Hand pass back to Akers. Doubles back. Does he go by hand to Cripps? No. Kicks across his body in hope. Snelling dropped the mark at half-back for Essendon. Now they're under the pump. His hand pass went straight to Ed Curnow, but he just hacked the ball to full forward. And Ridley on his own at full-back for the Bombers took the mark.
Jono, what are they doing with Harry Mackay tonight, Carl? Where are they playing him on the ground?
Well, he's sort of getting caught out of position. He's getting too far up, too far high up the ground. He looks better suited when he's deep 50.
Right long, Wiedering gave a push. Members wing, Durham tried to bust his way through, got a handball over his head to Martin. And now Jai Menzies in possession. Looks up and has no one ahead. 50 metres out, off by hand to Wiedemann. Had to kick quickly and was tackled as he kicked. And it snuck through for a behind. 17 minutes gone at the MCG. It's a 3-point game in favour of the Blues. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And whether that's been a coaching instruction or whether that's something that he's doing at the moment, that he feels that he needs to get up the ground and play a little bit more higher to actually get himself involved in the game, Jack, I think Harry Mackay probably needs to stay at home as much as he possibly can inside his forward 50.
6.5 minutes left of the first half. Just the 4 goals scored in the match so far. The Blues at 2 goals 9 and the Bombers at 2 goals 6. Off half-back, Cottrell for Carlton. Kick to the wing. Mackay up, doesn't mark. His fist goes straight up in the air for the footy, so Walsh tracks it nicely for Carlton. Hand pass right on the boundary line on the wing to Kennedy. He loads up with a big drop punt. Owies in front, brings it to ground. Snelling's got to go for the Bombers. Tackled by Owies. And the ball rolls out of bounds underneath his stomach, and the umpire's paid a high tackle, has he?
Yeah, unofficial umpire Baz seen it from, he was on the perfect angle to see that. Did duck his head a little bit, but yeah, a little bit high.
So Snelling's right on defensive 50 in front of the members for the Bombers. And Carlton lead by 3 points, 18.5 second term.
Snelling kicks to a 2-on-4. Contest by Phillips, who was out of position. At the fall, though, all Blues. Sard had his handball charged down initially. He gave to Walsh, who looks back into the corridor. Kick hung in the air for a while. And there's a whistle that might bail Carlton out. Cripps hit the ground. Free kick to the Blues. Off by hand of Boyd, who heads towards Harry Mackay with one arm. Couldn't hang on to the mark, did everything except drag it down. And now McGrath has to hack it out of the danger area. Good contest by Cripps. Plenty of Carlton players around it, but Cottrell picked it up. Merritt got him and pins him holding the ball.
Carlton just not getting a reward for effort here. They've actually been the better team, I think, in the last sort of 5 minutes, using the ball a little bit better. But once it gets in their 50, they don't know how to actually get it to somebody who can actually score a goal.
Battle of the defensive structures at the moment. Both been under pressure at different stages of the night. Bombers went into the corridor, off hands Chera. He bounces away from the centre and a chop in the arm. Free kick again, I think, for the Blues. It is Mackay again. 45 metres out. Virtually directly in front. No angle to speak of. He can go back and have a shot.
And that's why you want him deep and inside 50. We saw the ball going in before. He nearly took a one-handed grab. Exactly what Jono's been talking about for the whole night. Get him inside 50. Defenders need to panic. He's so strong, and let's hope he can finish off here with a goal.
So he settles for the drop punt this time. The Blues lead by 3 points. Left foot ball, half post high, and it's a ripper. He runs to his mates with a big smile because Carlton are out to a 9-point lead, 3-9-27. The Bombers 2-6-18. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with our new range of standard to premium switches. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
Red's headlanding stats, all Carlton in this second quarter. A little reward for effort. 16 inside 50s to 4. Contested ball more than double in their favour, 29-14. Essendon's pressure was up above 200 in that first term. Of course, they're 18th in the league for pressure. It's down to 156 in this quarter.
Nat Unides for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Some running repairs on Jack Silvani. He's just had his left thigh strapped, but he has just run back out there.
Gee, what about the sense of relief for Harry Mackay when he kicked that one, Jono?
Yeah, and we're watching on the Harvey Norman replay, Vossi just clapping his hands and really getting pumped up around it. And it's a confidence builder. That's what goal kicking is you've got to go back, feel confident about it. You kick one, you build it, and you go on from there.
Game high 9-point lead for the Blues. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. It's an Essendon clearance win, and they chip it out to Stringer at half forward. Gave a handball over the top to Caldwell. And now Menzie, extra handball to Phillips, forward pocket. Got his kick just in time, squares it up to the dangerous area. Could have been Perkins. Instead it was Snelling. 30 metres out directly in front for the quick reply.
Well, that was a carbon copy of last week from Phillips, except he went the banana and hit the wrong side of his boot and it ended up in a check side. That time he actually meant to do it. He said he meant to do it last week, but we all know that's not the case. But good spot there for Snelling to just be floating through. That's where you want your midfielders to get to. That part of the ground where the defenders don't flood back to, and then you get yourself a cheeky mark inside 50.
To cut it back to 3 points, to the punt road end. He's got it. Snelling kicks his first and the Bombers third. They're 3-6-24. Carlton 3-9-27. 22 minutes gone. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Just what Essendon needed, just to keep in touch, keep the scoreboard ticking over. See what Carlton got, see if they can respond. Just coming out of that centre kick for Phillips. Sard coming off worse for wear there. Sort of came in late for the tackle and took him a little while to get back up. Had some medical attention out there. So he may have to go off at some stage to have it be assessed. I think he hit his elbow ran into his elbow pretty much and almost concussed himself. Got to get that one out, don't I?
3 points up the Blues, 22.5 second term. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. We've still got 3:30 left in this first half. The bounce has gone very right and it will be recalled, so the players will reset. As the umpire to ball it up in the centre of the ground. Hushed tension around the ground. The Blues desperate for the 4 points tonight. And the Bombers in the 8. A kick out of the centre by Draper. Chincotta got in the way. Hand pass off towards the superstar in Cripps. Another one from him to Kennedy. Long ball inside forward 50, but again Essendon through Zerk Thatcher. This time Mark in defence. Little short ball to Hobbs. Still inside his defensive 50. About 40 from the Blues goal. Flat-footed. Looks sideways. Comes out here towards the member side. Real short ball. And Nick Martin marks on defensive 50.
He goes flat and low into the middle. Aggressive kick Menzies marks down low. Some overlap run from Hind, who kicks from next to the centre circle. Right the target at half forward. Front on contact. It's a pretty straightforward free kick. Against Lewis Young.
Just here. Front on contact.
And even though we haven't seen him at all this year, Peter Wright, we know that distance shouldn't be a problem from here.
Mid-zone switch, Robbie.
Just have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Clearance on now. Shot massive. Saving store wide. Visit us in store or online. Not much that Lewis Young could do about that. The right free second from just on 50 has absolutely flushed it. 2 goals in his return game. Bombers back in front of the MCG. 30 plays 27, 24 minutes gone. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, it was a super aggressive kick. You said it yourself, Jack. Back through the middle of the ground from Nick Martin. I don't think it got more than 5 metres off the ground. It was just piercing straight through the middle. Then Nick Hind knew as soon as that ball was kicked, he could take off from the half-back line. Got a handball received and then put the ball out beautifully to 2 metre Peter's advantage. Lewis Young did everything he could, but just at the last minute took his eyes off the footy. If he kept his eyes on the footy and turned his body ever so slightly, wouldn't have given away that free kick. But that's what you bring when the pressure's out and the ball's put perfectly to the key forward's advantage.
And he's been going all right, Young, this quarter. He started pretty ordinary in the first term, but now he's sort of gotten on top of it. But just a little mistake there.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy, so the Bombers reclaim the lead. Out of the centre they go. Player got high contact and flipped himself to the ground in Stringer. And paid the free kick. He magically bounces back up. So he's right in the centre of the MCG. He goes out wide to the outer side wing to Redmond. He's called to play on. Ran off his mark, so the drop punt will go to the right forward pocket. Good work from Wiedering, who just used his body to protect the drop zone and took the defensive mark in the back pocket for the Blues.
He's taking the third most marks in the competition this year, Jacob Wiedering.
Yeah, I don't know if they should look to move him to Peter Wright if he keeps going the way he's going.
A free kick to Charlie Curnow on the wing for high contact. As we tick past 26 minutes. Leaves us a minute 17 before halftime. The Bombers 4-6-30. Carlton 3-9-27. Low scoring affair. The Bombers looking to make it 4 in a row. The Blues looking to snap a 5-game losing streak. Jack Martin picked up the loose ball on the wing. Handballs to Cottrell. Cuts back inside, but all he saw were Bombers jumpers. Redmond puts it out in the path of Laverty in game number 100. Now Merritt. He was tackled as soon as he got it. Outer side wing. Charlie Curnow flips it back inboard. Now Walsh has got runners inside and he finds one of them in Chincotta.
He hand passes over his head and a little bit of hope down there to Kemp, but he went without the footy that bounced around his toes. And Zerk Thatcher came in and made sure it was going nowhere. There'll be a ball up in the centre of the MCG.
They're away, Carlton, and just a couple of times the ball just didn't bounce up for them, but they had the numbers around the ball. They won the contest and spread.
Big numbers around the footy. Draper slaps to the side. On the end of it, the Blues will run out here through Doherty. A little short ball, good to Jack Martin. He's looked plucky and dangerous in this second term. Hand pass back to Doherty, who ran on. Kicks a searching ball inside. Going to ground, Mackay. On hands and knees, he pants the ball. A hand pass back to Doherty. Runs it along the ground from 30. It went left. And through for a point. The Blues get to within 2 points of the Bombers. 27.5 second term.
Yeah, I like Jack Martin's game so far tonight. He's leading up at the ball carrier when he's there for the option, but then when he's deep, he's just following around, whether it's Mackay or Curnow, who is deepest, and then getting front and centre for them. He's been really good as a small forward so far.
The biggest lead in the game for either team has been 9 points. I think that gives you an idea of how close things have been. Half-time at the MCG. Essendon 4-6-30, leading Carlton 3-10-28. Almost a stunned kind of silence amongst the crowd here at the MCG. The best is yet to come. And we've got some breaking news coming out of the West as well. We'll bring you up to date with that on the other side of the break. Big news as far as the Tigers are concerned.
Hello.
Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy, Barry Denner, Ethan Meldrum, Nat Unides and Jack Everin. That's your Sunday night call team. And for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy.
The 40s on Triple M.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with Australia's biggest range of downlights. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
For Ream Hot Water.
Triple M rocks footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. It has Marty Sheargold.
I'm not the complaints department.
No, that's all right.
If you've got an issue, take it to Resepo.
A man who knows who he is.
I get it. I'm not an idiot. I just don't get it, because I'm an idiot.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. It's a show for grown-ups.
My balls popped out, Sally.
Oh, nothing worse than that.
You're quite right, especially in here.
Kickstart your day with a laugh. Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. 6 to 9 weekdays on Triple M.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Treat your thumb to mountains of mobile data with no lock-in contracts and unlimited data banking for a great price. Scroll good today. Search Belong Mobile Plans.
Campbell Brown here with Andrew Shea, the CEO of Builders Academy. For those already experienced, what can Builders Academy offer?
Thanks, Brownie. If you have a number of years' experience in the building and construction industry, we can help you via a process called recognition of prior learning. We gather evidence of your knowledge, skills and experience and help you pathway towards gaining a nationally recognised qualification.
Thanks, Andrew. Get in touch with Builders Academy on 1300 Legend.
RTO 21583.
Billy Brownless here. Want to enjoy a homemade pie on your RDO? You do you. Sleep in? You do you. How about taking a brand new Mazda BT50 for a spin? You do ute. Sure, pies and sleep-ins are nice, but Ringwood Mazda's dedicated ute centre is a perfect place to spend your RDO. With heaps of stock to choose from and great deals on a wide range of BT50s, you don't need an excuse. You do ute. Ringwood Mazda, LMCT 11143. Zoom, zoom.
BP Plus is the perfect fuel card for clever business owners looking to streamline their fuel expenses and be rewarded while doing it. Sign up to BP Plus to earn triple Qantas points for 6 months and up to 5 cents off per litre on eligible fuel. Plus, fill up with 10,000 litres within that 6 months and earn an additional 100,000 bonus Qantas points. That's doing business the clever way. Limited time offer. Min spend. Litrage criteria apply. Must be a Qantas Business Rewards member to earn Qantas points. For T's and C's, visit bpplus.com.au.
JB Hi-Fi is smashing tax time this weekend with a crazy 10% off Apple MacBook computers. Get an extra 15% off any TV and soundbar when you buy them together. Extra 15% off. That's nuts. Plus tax more tax time deals. JB, you've done it again.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. Get in, get out, get on with it at Mitre 10 Trade.
Gripping game of footy at the MCG. Two traditional rivals, the Bombers and the Blues. At half-time, it's the Bombers by 2 points. They're 4-6-30. Carlton, 3 goals, 10-28. 2 goals to Peter Wright. We've got Jack Heverin, Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson in the box. This is the half-time break for Mitre 10 Trade. Get in, get out and get on with it at Mitre 10 Trade. As Jack intimated before half-time, just before we went to the great massive news coming out of Perth, in particular for the Richmond Football Club. Joining us online, got a little bit of time for us, Triple M and Channel 7's own Ryan Daniels. Ryan, thanks for joining us. Please break to us what's going on.
Yeah, guys, some really unfortunate news in the case of Marlon Pickett, the Richmond player. He's been arrested and charged over here in WA, and it relates to a series of burglaries which happened over the summer in December 2022 and January 2023. The burglaries were to commercial properties. He's been charged with 4 counts of aggravated burglary, stealing and criminal damage. It's a really big story, as you say. Obviously, Marlon Pickett, we know he's passed. He spent time in prison before he got out, and he made such a great debut in that grand final for Richmond. It's been a wonderful story to follow. This is obviously a concerning twist. We should stress that these are just charges at this case at the moment. There's no assumption of guilt here, but he has been arrested and he has been charged.
Ryan, we're obviously still piecing the details together as we speak. Did this come as a shock to the Richmond Footy Club? They would have been obviously unaware that something like this was bubbling away?
Yeah, my understanding is that they didn't know until we sort of gave them a call and said, hey, are you aware this is happening? They weren't aware at the time, and then within an hour they were fully across it. So obviously Richmond played here in WA last night. Marlon always planned to stay for a few days or at least a day or two and spend time with family, as did many of the WA players that they have, along with I think Daniel Rioli also stayed. He's got family here too. So it wasn't a shock to have him staying over here, but obviously in the meantime, WA police have said, okay, you've got a few things to answer here. Now, I should also stress that his manager, Anthony van der Wielen, has released a statement as well, guys. He says in response to the allegations, Marlon has a strong intent to defend himself against the charges. They can't really make any further comment because it's obviously in front of the legal system, but he'll face court tomorrow, so this will move pretty quickly from here.
Sorry, Ryan, we appreciate you joining. We know you only got a couple of minutes, mate, but thanks for updating us and updating us on that huge news. Thank you.
Yeah, no problems, guys.
Ryan Daniels, there, Channel 7 Perth, and of course part of the Triple M team, and as he rightly pointed out, it is just a charge at this stage and a lot of process to go through around that, but obviously it's a bit of a shock to us. He's been such a wonderful performer for the Tigers, and in the moment in the grand final when he played his first game was a part of a premiership team. So we do know Marlon's past, and getting past that is so important in life, and we just wish everybody around it all the best.
Yeah, well, basically what his manager has actually stated in that statement as well, he's going to defend it as well. So, as we just alluded to, that a lot of this is going to play out in the next couple of days, and we'll know more once that all gets done and dusted.
Yep, not much more we can say, Jono, is there? So that is huge news that's come out of Perth. Here we've got a 2-point ball game at half-time. The Bombers lead it by 2 points, 4-6-30. The Blues are 3-10-28. Let's get the numbers at half-time. Triple M Red Z-Landing stats, please. Heath, what do they tell you about the Bombers' 2-point lead?
Yeah, it was much improved from Carlton in that second term. In the end, 18 inside 57, really picked up around the ball. They were plus 18 contested ball, double the contested ball in the end, 36-18. A lot of their mids went to work. The only thing they're not doing, really, the Blues, is just their conversion. Kicked 3 goals, 10, 65% by foot to Essendon's 80 in that second term. So the Bombers really making the most of their chances when they're going forward. Adam Cerra, number 1 ranked player on the ground, 19 disposals to half-time, 6 score involvements. He's been really influential. Sam Doherty, 13. Walsh and Curnow, Charlie Curnow, that is, with a 12 apiece. Charlie Curnow getting really busy. Nick Martin, number 1 ranked player for the Bombers, 18 touches. Ridley and Heppel, the 13 apiece.
Kate, Jono, it's been tight. Only, as Ethan said, 7 goals scored so far up till half-time. The Bombers by 2 points.
Yeah, I think exactly what he said, that Carlton had the dominance in that quarter, but they just couldn't put the score on the board. And then when they finally did kick a major, the disappointing thing for Carlton was that the next centre bounce, Essendon then won the centre bounce clearance and went ahead and kicked the goal to level up the quarter, basically. So they need to, one, get more score on the board and more reward for effort. They've had 18-7 inside 50s in that term, so you need to outscore them, not just with behinds, with goals. But then the other hand, once you do score the goal, defend the next centre bounce and try and get another inside 50 to keep the scoreboard pressure on.
And what it comes down to Carlton is utilising the ball once they're going forward. Like, yes, they're going to get it inside their forward 50, but the way they do it, they look better than the second term. First term, Jack, they were terrible in going forward. But one thing I'm seeing from Carlton, which is what my eyes are telling me now, is from the contest itself, they're actually spread. They're actually getting in front, and they're actually leaving the Essendon players behind. And, Ed Curnow doing a massive job on Zach Merritt. I think it's only 7 to 8 disposals between them at the moment. So that's a key role as well that he's playing, but certainly that spread at the moment, Carlton are just really good on that spread. They've a couple of their goals in this in that second term all came from their back 7 or back 6 by moving the ball up really quickly and actually coming together and running and carrying the ball through. So at the moment, I've really got Carlton ahead of actually of Essendon, even though Essendon are in front by a couple of points. But Carlton, to me, just seem to be the better team at the moment.
Well, no one's safe from the Amy Clangers at half-time. Who covers Clangers on and off the field? Amy does. I think we've been fairly flawless tonight, but
excellent. I think
there's always room for improvement. Well, we just had a little malfunction in the quarter-time break here in the Triple M box. Baz has just been handed a little bit of the half-time sustenance. He's the people's caller.
Yeah.
He needs fuel to keep going.
I do.
Was handed one of those little squeezy tomato sauces, and as he went to catch it, his hands are that thick and that strong that the sauce has burst and squirted all over his face.
It did, and I can't talk about it, Jack, because I think there's legal implications of it. I've suffered a workplace injury. I'll be making a few calls after the game.
Baz has got sauce in the eye.
There you go, Baz. Plenty of evidence for your workplace claims. So
I think so.
You just take that tape in and you're sorted.
What happened?
What it doesn't tell you is that MJ, our man, Michael James, is looking after us tonight. Now, we all know that Jamesy's always wanted to be a footy caller. I'm saying that sauce is already split. And it went straight into my eyes, and he darted it towards me, and I just reckon he thought, I can call this game, right, if I get rid of the old bloke.
The old tactical sub, the injury sub. He was going to injury sub you out.
Well, he was. No, it was quite significant, the sauce too, Jack. I think you said it was all over my face.
It was,
yeah. Anyway, these things happen.
Yeah, these things happen.
Yeah, they do.
It's good that you're still with us, Baz. So just quickly, Choice Hotels around the grounds, Heath, at the Oval, please.
Yeah,
is it over, Heath, or not?
Not over yet. Before that, Baz going at 0% efficiency with the sauce so far on the Red Dents. India 5 for 190. The morning dominated by Scott Boland, took 2 wickets in 3 balls, could have had 3 in 4. So he's got Virat Kohli out, he's got Ravi Jadeja out, KS Bharat and Ajinki Rahane in at the crease. So Australia only need 5 wickets to win their World Test Championship.
Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guarantee when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead and book it. Jack Heverin in the house with Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Ethan Meldrum and Nat Unitas. Baz here as well, with the Bombers up by 2 points at halftime, 4-6-30. The Blues 3-10-28 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. Get in, get out, get on with it at Mitre 10 Trade.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
With over 38 years' experience, the Growth, my super investment option, has returned on average, Kate, what about this? 8.8% per annum for its members.
So whatever hard work you do, Jack, Cbus Super are making your money work as hard as you. Cbus Super, making hard work pay off. Find out more at cbussuper.com.au.
And like I always say to you, past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. To consider if Cbus is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Before the D's and Pies do battle on King's birthday,
Huge crowd, massive occasion.
we celebrate footy royalty in Neil Danaher as a new batch of celebrities take on the Freeze M&D slide.
We're straight to Bill Brownless. He's a big unit as we... He's done the full flip. I don't think that was intentional. I think it was just a bodyweight issue.
Join the Temper Mattress call team tomorrow from 1 for Melbourne and Collingwood. For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
The Optus end of financial year sale is on now. Save a massive $300 off the retail price when you buy the Samsung Galaxy S23 series and pay it off over 36 months and add an eligible SIM plan. Plus, get a bonus Galaxy Watch 5. Visit Optus online or in-store before June 30 for this and other epic deals. Great value starts with yes. Handset discount forfeited if you cancel early. Galaxy Watch 5, graphite 44mm cellular variant only. Redeemed by July 31, 23. T's and C's and redemption criteria apply.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. Professional tilers, upgrade your tile machines and tools at National Tiles before June 30 and get an instant 100% tax deduction. That's right. Professional tilers, upgrade your tile machines and tools at National Tiles before June 30 and get an instant 100% tax deduction. So start the new financial year with your all-new tools from National Tiles with a 100% tax deduction before June 30. So rush into National Tiles now and save. Conditions apply.
Oh, the Blind Factory! They say that
Hey Fred, why does radio advertising work so well for the Blind Factory?
I think it's about trust. You know, the station has a lot of trust with the listeners and obviously their talent on air. And that extends to us as advertisers.
Your ads are pretty hard to miss.
The recall is off the charts.
Luckily the song is too. Discover the unlimited ways to make your brand a household name at commercialradio.com.au. Radio. Unlimited.
At Total Tools, we've got totally unbeatable deals this end of financial year. Check out our massive Tool Time catalogue with hundreds of offers on big tool brands. Save $200 on the exclusive Milwaukee 18-volt 5-piece combo kit. Now $1,399 was $1,599. Plus, score 2 free batteries worth over $386. Tax time deals end June 30. So get cracking. Unbeatable end of financial year deals at Total Tools. Total Tools. Totally sorted.
Australia is having a conversation about the referendum being held later this year.
So what's it about?
It's about whether we should change the Constitution to recognise the First Peoples of Australia by setting up an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. The voice will be a permanent body.
And it'd give independent advice to the Parliament and Government on matters that affect First Nations people.
Be ready for the conversation.
Visit voice.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Half time at the MCG, it is the Blues 3-10-28 who trail the Bombers 4-6-30. Peter Wright's got a couple in his first game back for the season for Essendon. Snelling and Langford, their other goal kickers for Carlton. Mackay, Martin and Chincotta, the goal kickers. Third quarter coming up for Titanium Caravans. Want to go anywhere? You'll need Australia's toughest off-road caravan. Titanium Caravans are purpose-built to tackle Australia's uncompromising conditions. They have everything you need to stay off-grid and off-road for longer. So look no further than a Titanium Caravan. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au. Kate McCarthy, tomorrow we're back here at the Triple MCG for the Demons, I should say, taking on the Pies.
Yeah, I love King's birthday, obviously formerly known as Queen's birthday. Great event on the calendar. I love the Freeze MND Day, and I just think all things Neil Danaher need to be celebrated accordingly, and how fitting for him to have such a fantastic day, and even just a great clash lined up between two teams that are flying at the moment.
No Clayton Oliver for the Demons, but no Jordan De Goey as well for Collingwood. So in many ways, they cancel each other out.
Yeah, it does kind of even up the ledger, doesn't it? But I think De Goey is a big out. I think both Dacos brothers were under injury or illness clouds. They're both in the team, so that's really good news for them. And I think that hole that De Goey leaves, I'm interested to see who will fill that and who will play that real attacking mid-role.
Who are you tipping?
At Collingwood.
Oh, you say that like it was just nothing.
How can you tip against Collingwood at the moment?
Well, I don't know. That's why
I mean, someone that would tip against Collingwood at the moment would be Ethan. We know how much he loves his Ds, but I just don't see Collingwood getting beaten at the moment. The footy that they're playing, even without Jordan De Goey, I just think they've been elite.
What about you, Chris Johnson?
I'd have to go with the Pies. I think the Pies are a better team right across the board compared to Melbourne. I don't think Melbourne have been consistent enough throughout this year, and Collingwood have been showing up at every game and putting in professional performances. So you'd have to go with the Pies.
Ethan Meldrum, Red Z Lenders. Can you hit us with Tom De Koning's numbers for tonight, please? He's been discussed a lot. There are clubs interested, and he's rucking one out with no Mark Pitnet. How's he gone so far?
Yeah, and he's doing okay. He's not getting much of the ball, only the 3 disposals, but he is leading the way in the hit-out. Head-to-head with Sam Draper, of course. He's had the 11 hit-outs. Sam Draper's just had the 5. So you'd have to say he's got the head-to-head matchup 1 in that part of the ground.
What needs to change in this third quarter? From a Bombers' point of view, does much need to change?
Bombers, they need to get the contested possessions back on their terms. They got pretty pantsed in that. They lost by 18 in that second quarter. Pretty big differential. If you're Brad Scott, you're not too happy with that.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Here he is, the People's Caller.
Thanks, Jack. So the Bombers start at 2 points up. They'll go to the city end of the right of our broadcast position. in this third term. DeCarning went early but got hands on the footy down to Ed Curnow. Bounced past him though. Coming off the wing, Essendon through Caldwell. A kick high inside forward 50. Off hands to Nick Martin. Hand pass off to Langford. Another one out wide towards Snelling. He's 45 out. Kept the eyes low because Merritt led to the right forward pocket deep and he hit him up on the chest.
Well, that's the start the Bombers needed. They needed to get that clearance straight away and get it in there. And Merritt needs to actually impact this game at the moment. It hasn't had an impact at all.
So Merritt will have to kick across his body from about 35 metres out. Right forward pocket city, and that's bending back beautifully. The skipper makes a little statement as he runs in to remonstrate with a few Blues. Boundary side, Bob Jane T-Mart's Nat.
So just to reiterate who the subs are, no changes were made at halftime for Essendon. Massimo D'Ambrosio, and then for Carlton, Paddy Dow. And also just confirming that spoken to the Blues about Jack Silvani, who got that strapping on his left thigh. It is a cork for Silvani, and he's starting on the bench in this third term.
Bombers out to an 8-point lead, 1 minute third term. Triple M at Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, they enjoyed that one purely because Zach Merritt, he hasn't had much impact in this game. You're right, Jono, but started him forward to get away from the tag, and it's paid off dividends, kicking the first goal of the third term. All of that fuss after the goal was based at him going up to Ed Curnow and telling him all about it.
So it's going to be interesting now to see what Vossi does, whether they actually put Ed Curnow back into the back line and put him on there, or they still run with him in the middle of the ground. At this stage, he's in the middle of the ground taking Stringer.
And Stringer won that clearance just with sheer strength, willed his way to the contest and flicked a handball out wide to Curnow, to Caldwell, I should say. Then Durham kicks long and direct. Here's Merritt hunting around that footy once more. 50 out from the Bombers' goal. McGovern wrestles it away. Quick hands by Walsh. Chera's now got a problem. Caldwell tackles him. Umpire calls for it.
Bombers have started well here. They've got the last two clearances, so they're really making sure that they're on their game because it is urgent time.
DeCarning down to Cripps. He lost it in the handle. Hand pass out of the pack goes wide and Stringer's onto it, 45 out. Low drop punt in towards goal to the left. And through for a point. Bombers out to a 9-point lead. 2.5 third term. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Choice hotels around the grounds, Heath, at the Oval World Test Championship.
Yeah, India 5 for 201, need 243 more runs to win. Of course, Scott Boland, 2 wickets in and over. Got the Aussies off to a very good start this morning.
As McGovern plays on from defence, kicks to the outer side of the MCG. Durham bodies Cripps off it, then looks for a target inside 50. Cincotta got in the way. There's Stringer. Again gave a push off. Swung back onto his left foot from 45. And bounces across the face. And it's only been a couple of minutes into this third quarter, but Jake Stringer looking dangerous.
You don't normally see Patrick Cripps lose those one-on-ones either that he just lost there. Lost his feet, and then the Bombers went off the other way, back inside 50.
So right forward pocket up against their point post, Essendon. The ball comes back into play. Right taps down a Stringer. He dropped it and then went to pick it up again. Cincotta at the bottom of the pack trying to hold him up. Stringer got it again. Third time, passed it out to Caldwell. Good tackle, Sard. Just hung on to him. No free kick though. Ball spilled to Guelphy for Essendon. Hand pass off to Nick Martin. What's happened? It's a Bombers free. It's going to go back to Guelphy, is it?
Yeah, you're right, Baz. It was held on too long, just able to go into his back as well at the same time in Jordan Boyd. So he actually didn't even know he got rid of the ball, so he just hung on to him and then drove him into the ground. So poor free kick there, just a lapse of concentration.
Back to line. Guelphy's gone back a long way, but Boyd, who stands on the mark, is 25 out from the Bombers' goal. So Guelphy settles. Slight angle at City end, and Essendon up by 9 points before the kick. What's the game high lead, Heath?
Game high lead is the current one, 9 points.
So Guelphy, it's sort of a flat sort of thing off his boot that stayed low, but it went straight. And no one on the line, and it's slipped home for the Bombers, who are out to a 15-point lead. 4.5 third turn. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Said in this third quarter they needed to come out and win the contest. That's exactly what they're doing. They're winning the clearances, getting the ball inside their forward 50. And what Carlton didn't do in the second term, when they've got it inside 50, the only way it's coming out is through a goal.
Red Z Lenders, Heath, third quarter so far.
Yeah, all Essendon, 4 clearances to none. Contested ball 7-2. Disposal 16-4. Jake Stringer has as many touches of the footy in the first 5 minutes as Carlton do.
Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com. Really good start to this third term for the Bombers. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Draper taps that ball down, and there's that man again, Stringer,
advantage,
who wins a free kick, and Perkins takes the advantage. Toe pokes the ball inside 50. It's a free kick against Guelphy. And Sard to take it for the Blues. They're under the pump. They trail by 15 points as Carlton take the corridor.
Goes back to Sard by hand pass over here towards the wing. On the run, Carlton. They're breaking a tackle and doing well, Chincotta. His low drop punt to half forward, though, was a little bit wide of Charlie Curnow, allowed Ridley in to take a comfortable mark on defensive 50 for the Bombers. Kicks out wide here to Guelphy.
Well, the build-up again by Carlton, fantastic, but that last bit of executing the skill inside their forward 50, just falling down.
Guelphy runs the line, delivers just across the wing, broadcast side of the ground. Wiedemann up, Hobbs at the floor, the ball, hand pass to Merritt. Boundary side, 55 out. Low drop punt to the pocket player on his own, and it's Big Peter Wright. He's only marked about 10 to 12 metres out, but he's about 2 or 3 metres, or make it about 2 inside the boundary.
Just here, Mitch.
And that all comes from the turnover. Turnover, forward 50. Carlton not getting it in longer and deep enough and kicking it to a forward advantage.
He's kicked 2 and his return, he's got 3. Oh, purple patch for the Bombers here. They're out to a 21-point lead. 7-7-49 plays, 3-10-28 the Blues. 7 minutes third term, Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, I love this move from Brad Scott, taking away Zach Merritt from the midfield, who was getting tagged quite heavily from Ed Curnow. He's moved him forward. He's just been a beautiful link in the chain, and why wouldn't you want him presenting up high as that high half forward? And that kick, fantastic. He held it for the exact amount of time to make the Blues defender make a decision. It was a 2-on-1 inside 50 to the Bombers' advantage. Could have hit Langford short, went deep to Peter Wright, and it was just an uncontested mark a couple of metres out from the goal square.
They've been slow, Carlton. They're slow in reacting to that move too, Kate. They've got to go and put Curnow back to Merritt, because Merritt is having an influence in this third term.
Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy in the back row for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. The lead is now a game-high 21 for the Bombers. De Koning wins a clearance but tumbles the ball to centre half forward. Quick hands by Redmond. Over to Snelling, who missed his target. Now Cripps arrives on the scene. Flips a handball out to Walsh. Now Kennedy goes back. Next to the centre circle has Blake Acres. High up and under ball inside Carlton's forward 50. Big fist over the back came from Zirk Thatcher. Split the pack in 2 and knocked it out to the advantage of Martin.
Martin hand pass off the Bombers on the charge. Perkins hand pass back to Martin. Look at him run. Hand pass over the top to Hobbs if he can stay on his feet. Oh! Sard got him from behind, but he got him high. Good chase down, closing speed, but he just turned at the wrong time. And Hobbs with a free kick forward to the wing, outer side of the ground.
And the Bombers had them outnumbered in their forward 50. Hobbs just didn't look up. All he had to do was kick it forward. They were outnumbered 4-2.
And now he's got to kick to a heavily populated 50. Phillips got a push. Umpire was right there to see it. He made sure that everyone in the MCG saw him being pushed. Harvey Norman replay will tell the story.
I've seen those ones being ignored from time to time. A little nudge, but not a great nudge.
I feel like that could be a shooting star, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a contender.
And Andrew Phillips.
This will be their second goal from a free kick, am I right?
He came back into the team tonight. Was going to be the sub from directly in front. It's there. 4 straight goals to the Bombers to start the third term. And they have posed a big, big problem at Carlton now. 27 points the lead. 8-7 plays 3-10. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, we found out he's the death metal man. Loves his death metal, Phillips. And a man that's that big that listens to death metal should not be moved that easily. That was so easy. Little hands in the back, and he put a fair bit of mayo on it. Either way, went back, kicked the goal, but they're well on top in this third quarter, not just inside 50, all around the ground, taking intercept marks for the poor use from Carlton and then running in waves up the field.
just can't afford to give free kicks. That's just handing goals to your opposition. You work so hard and you can't just allow that to happen. Lack of concentration.
41 games for the Blues, of course. Big Phillips for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. And the ball bounce was good. The midfielders piled on top of the footy. Durham at the bottom of the pack gets up and hands it to the umpire, who balls it up. Phillips got a hand on it, back to Durham. Merritt there as well. Shoved it out to Merritt. Hand pass underground to Perkins. Another one to Hobbs. Little short ball to Durham and made a presence about 15 metres further on. Bob Jane T-Mart's Nat.
Carlton have just put up the big power on button that you use on a remote control. Maybe time to switch on, boys.
All right. Good call. Wright's got it forward pocket. His kick was smothered. So he lays a tackle. Still 30 from the Bombers' goal. Free kick to Walsh. Sam Walsh to take it in the back pocket. And the Blues fans give the Bronx cheer.
Well, they've finally made the move. Curno's gone to Merritt now, so that's something that just took them too long to get organised.
I'm just picturing Nat Unides standing in front of the playing group going, switch on, boys. And the kick goes into the middle. Hine had a couple to beat. Well, spills out the back and gathered by Owie. Standing next to the centre circle here at the MCG. Kick didn't favour Mackay. It sat on his head. Heppel comes in to mop it up. Works together. And the Bombers play the members' side here at the MCG. Menzie in possession. And they can play a bit of tempo footy.
Menzie goes back inboard to Snelling. Hand pass back to Menzie, the old 1-2. He's got McGrath very close to the boundary on the wing. He hand passes to him. McGrath takes the bounce. Kicks towards half forward. Phillips up. Won't mark. McGovern just holds onto the footy and stands in the tackle of Langford. And the umpire to ball it up about 65 from the Bombers' goal. In front of the members at the MCG.
Their lead is 27 points. Well, kick forward was okay from Hobbs. It bounces inside 50. And over the back of the first couple of players. Stringer in the vicinity. Doherty knew he was there. Gave a quick handball to Walsh, who had his back caved in by Merritt. Umpire says play on. 40 out from goal. And perhaps that's the square up. Sam Walsh takes a free kick. Inside defensive 50 for the Blues. 3-10 to 8-7. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Got to find something here, Carlton. The kick to the wing to Koning. He's on his own. He'll mark. So he's got Mackay running forward. Real open forward line at the moment. Player running past Akers. Hand pass to him, boundary side. He's on the wing. 20-metre hand pass Silvani. They got players everywhere. Oh, no! Oh, he's let it go. He thought Charlie Curnow was going to take it. And he was called out of it. It looked like he was. Charlie's got it now, but he's tackled and dragged to the ground. The footy spills. Kennedy has a crack. He's tackled. 40 from the Blues goal. Cripps bottom of the pack. They're still having a crack. Kick was smothered. McGrath's got it for the Bombers. Barrels it to Merritt on the wing. Oh, goodness. Opportunity missed. Bob Jane T-Mart's Nat.
The frustration in the crowd when that ball went inside 50 and completely missed two open men. I think we're going to have some microwavable membership soon.
And Unides for Bob Jane T-Marts this financial year. Bob Jane T-Mart have a great buy 3, get 1 free deal. Merritt wastes no time. Right marks.
Jeez.
As easy as that. Peter Wright lining up for his fourth, 30 metres out.
Well, if you want a clip to sum up Carlton's forward line tonight, just play that kick from Jack Silvani and two forwards just completely pulling out.
But it was the right kick, though.
It was on and it went to the advantage. One of them just had to take the mark.
And the amount of times they have gone to Owies going forward when they've got two big key targets, it's been comical today.
To make it a 33-point lead. Never looked like missing. What a welcome return it is for Peter Wright. 4 goals and we're halfway through the third quarter. Carlton have got a massive problem now. They trail by 33 points. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Well, they've come out, started this third term, and they've been outstanding, Essendon. I thought Carlton went into the rooms at half-time being the better team, but they've left all that form back in the rooms. They need to start to actually get their hands on the ball and make sure they hit targets going forward. But credit when credit's due, Essendon's run and carry in this third term has been at a real high level.
Sheesh, you can sense the tension around the ground. Some Blues. Hear the mumbles of the Blues fans. They are frustrated. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, bounces good, Draper down to Martin, the Bombers are away again. Hobbs into Caldwell, hand pass over the top, Guelphy on forward 50, goes back by hand to Caldwell, another one to Menzie. Oh, they got another! That was brilliant. They just walked around them. Straight out of the centre, Menzie on the end of it kicks the goal. The Bombers 10-7-67. Carlton have stopped all walk, 3-10-28. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard 15th third term.
Well, Nick Martin is having a fantastic game for the Bombers. He's just looking like he's on a different playing field at the moment. Zach Merritt, obviously the person that usually probably plays that role that he's now playing in the midfield. He looked great in the first half, looks even better now. And those chains of handballs just completely cut Carlton apart. They got the overlap run, chained it out, and it was just raffling it in the end for who wanted to kick the goal leaf.
Red Z Lending stats, Nick Martin, number 1 ranked player, 22 touches, 8 score involvements for him. Clearances 8-1 alone in this third quarter. That's their 4th score from a stoppage so far for this term, the Bombers.
6 goals in 15 minutes.
Wow.
They've been on fire, haven't they? They really have turned it on.
Carlton's season swinging in the breeze right now, and the future of so many swinging with it. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Another clearance win as Caldwell drills a pass in the direction of right. Kick goes over his head, shinned away from defensive 50. Sard will be there first for the Blues. They try and build something from the back half. Motlop shrugs the hind tackle and then kicks around the corner. McGrath and Laverty contest each other for it. Umpire says play on. Members wing here at the MCG. Hobbs cuts back inside. Had to be spot on with the kick, and he was to Wiedemann.
So Wiedemann will go out wider. He's got Bombers everywhere. Laverde, one of those in his 100th game. He'll chip inside forward 50, and guess who? Big Peter Wright on a lead. And he's marked 40 out on a 45-degree angle.
Well, the way that their forward line is working together, if you watch the end of that play, it looked like Peter Wright's defender was nowhere near him. The reason that happened was because they ran some blocks for each other. The early one that they wanted was up high, and it was just a real easy block. I can't see who it was, but just getting in between it, it was Jai Menzie. He just got in between Peter Wright's opponent and him, which bought him a metre or two, which is all you need to take a mark.
For the Bombers' 7th goal of the third term, 17.5 minutes in, right for his 5th. He's hooked it. It's across the face. And marked on the line by Wiedering for Carlton. There's no score. Short kick across goal to Sard, who marks deep in the back pocket.
If you're a Blues fan listening to this, Jono, what's happening in this third quarter for Carlton?
Well, basically they're just not getting their hands on the ball. They're not getting their hands on the ball. They're not delivering the ball inside their forward 50 like they did in the second term. So their build-up behind the football is pretty good. What they're doing now, they've worked it all the way up to the wing, but it's this next kick. Where does it go?
It's Silvani who kicks it onto the head of Curnow. Draper knocks that one away. Caldwell was waiting front and centre. Good tackle by Cripps. Caldwell got a handball free. Now Durham. The Bombers are playing with all sorts of abandon at the moment. They're attacking, and they can because they're dominating. Durham had a fumble, still kept it moving forward. Martin overruns the footy. 45 metres out from Essendon's goal. Trying to tap it on. The Blues should be able to find a way through. Chin Cotter to Chera, who sweeps a handball wide to Akers.
Goes short over the top to Alous de Koning. He's on the wing. And he marks broadcast side. Settles it down. He looks inboard. Does he keep going along the line? He does, because Akers has run on. And a short 15-metre pass falls into his arms. Have we had a wicket overseas with the Aussies and the Indians? Please, Heath.
We certainly have. Mitchell Stark's just got Ajiki Rahane caught behind. So India now 6 down, 4 wickets for Australia to win the World Test Championship final.
Great news. Short ball here. Doherty marks it half forward for Carlton. So they've chipped it from 55 from home. He goes to the pocket. Martin was the target. But reading it beautifully was the former skipper in Dyson Heppel, who thumped it and killed the footy out of bounds 25 around from Carlton's goal.
Just compare that entry to the last entry we saw for the Bombers. They all play as one, the Bombers. They want to block for each other. On the other hand, all forwards just pointing where they wanted it.
Heppel was involved in a bit of a tangle with Owies off the ball and went down. Quick kick was hacked forward and into the waiting arms of Charlie Curnow, who marks 45 metres out, 45-degree angle for a much-needed goal for Carlton.
Perfect, that's your line. Stand.
Their last goal came at the 20-minute mark of the second term. Since then, it's been all Essendon. Curnow with 4 behinds to his name tonight. Much needed goal for the Blues. There's a pulse. It's a faint one, but there's a pulse. 33 points is the difference. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
They certainly needed that goal. There's another move that they might need to look at. We haven't seen Jack Martin a lot this quarter. He's playing really deep as that forward. They need to pull him up the ground and get him involved somewhere. He's an elite kicker of the football. He's the one that needs to be delivering the ball inside the forward 50. Maybe they need to swap him and Motlop over a little bit more. Maybe him play high, Motlop play deeper. That might be able to give him something that they need inside that forward 50.
For McDonald's, a Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Don't forget at Macca's, the Mac Feast is back. You can't keep a legend out of the lineup. Don't be afraid to whack in a throwdown or two with it. That'll just complete your meal. Nothing like a little cheeseburger. The bounce is good. Stays inside the circle. Phillips and De Koning go at it. Phillips had the run on it. Slaps it towards Perkins. Dragged off his kick by Chera. Saad goes at ground level. Underground hand pass back to De Koning. Got boot to ball, but at first he went straight up in the air. Redmond flies. Brings it to ground for the Bombers to Caldwell. Hand pass to Heppel. Kicks across the outer side wing to Hine. Look at him run. Look at him go. Long ball. Low ball towards Peter Wright, who ran off half forward. And he slaps it out of bounds with Louis Young. Right on his hammer, about 70 from the Bombers' goal.
It's the body language, Kate, the flair that Essendon are playing with in this third quarter. They've really got their tail up at the moment.
Yeah, and they look like they just have such a good understanding of how they want to play footy. They want to get that handball chain out of the contest. That's what they're getting. They know they can give it because someone will be there.
They lead by 33 points. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Ball on the outer side wing. Cripps hard against the boundary line. Looks for Curnow. He's eased under the footy. No free kick. Umpire said play on. And Redmond receives a sweeping handball at half-back. That's not 15. Carlton stopped and Redmond kept running. Got it back a third time as he dashes through the middle of the MCG from 75 metres out. Kept his kick low, and it was absolutely spot on for Peter Wright, who marks in the forward pocket.
Oh, Peter, don't pass it off. You've kicked 4. You've got to kick 5.
Yeah, we don't like that here on Triple M.
Absolutely not. Make it all about yourself, as it should be. You haven't played all year.
Good call, Kate. Good call.
To take it back to 39 points.
Unbelievable. What about this for a return?
Carlton fans are stunned. Essendon fans are about to have a big Sunday night party. 5 goals for Peter Wright. The missing link in this Bombers forward line is back in a big way. 11-7-73 plays 4-10-34. The Bombers are spanking the Blues. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
They are, Jack, and it's all about their speed. They run and carry the ball. You've got Redmond, you've got Martin. When they get the ball, they're just going. Durham even carrying the ball as well at different stages through this third term. But that was all Redmond off the half-back flank. He started that chain right on the half-back flank, all the way through the middle of the ground, and delivered that beautifully to the fat side.
Just having a look at the Harvey Norman replay here. Redmond has run past 4 or 5 Blues, though, to get that ball back. You can't allow that. As soon as he runs into you, you know he's a run-off defender. Check his run. You can't let him work from contest to contest and just get a handball received all the way up the ground. Of course they're going to cut you up if you allow them to do that.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Shop massive savings. Store Wade. Visit us in-store or online. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy out of the centre. Carlton this time. Sammy Walsh out of the middle to Owies. Owies punted it forward, 50 to Doherty. Kick was right off the instep of the boot. Bounced very wide to the left forward pocket and bounced out of bounds. So about 60 metres around from Carlton's goal. As Jack said, they trail by 39 points, 24 minutes third term on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
The Blues have only won 4 games for the year. They look a long way away from making it number 5 tonight. Motlop in the pocket, got his hands away. Cripps tackled by 3 Bombers. Perkins, Hobbs, Durham.
Red Z leading stats, just more on Kate's point. The contested numbers pretty even. Carlton +8 contested ball. Essendon +10 clearances. Tackles nearly double, or in fact they are double Essendon's way, 50 to 25.
Ethan Meldrum, Red Z leading as Walsh sets sail towards home. It's off hands. It's not over yet. Perkins kicks around the corner. It works out okay. It's been that sort of quarter for the Bombers, and Hobbs marks inside defensive 50.
Choice Hotels around the grounds. How are we going in the cricket, Heath?
Oh, I reckon Nathan Lyons just got shuttle. In fact, he has shuttle tackle out. Plum LBW, I reckon. India's 7 for 213. Australia 3 more wickets to win.
Kemp's got it on the wing here as he kicks it back inside forward 50 for the Blues. And Mackay up in front didn't mark. It spilled to Phillips, who hand passed to Redmond for the Bombers. Deep back pocket, then to Hine. Short kick across goal to Ridley. Earlier today, Heath, it was North Melbourne taking on the GWS.
Yeah, Giants by 28 points. Toby Green, probably another 3 votes in the Brownlow. 24 touches, 3 goals. Enough to knock Carlton down to 15th on the live ladder.
Oh, that is not what Blues fans needed to hear when they're down by 39 points.
Play on.
Umpire says play on.
Play ball.
Now eventually comes in. Umpire Chris Donlan.
You have to get 5 beyond that.
39 points at half-time. It was a 2-point lead of the Bombers. Essendon have been simply superb in this third term. Assad turns the corner, gave a handball into the middle. Now Chincotta off the wraparound from Kemp. From just outside 50, that's a better kick. Chera finds a target and it's Owies, who marks 30 out directly in front.
Tell you the reason they're making it such hard work for their mids to hit them is they're all running away from the kicker. You can't hit a lead if no one's running towards you. That's the hardest kick to give when people are running away. So we looked towards the middle of the ground, which is where you want to hit it. And everyone's just got their hands by their side asking for the footy. Lead at the leg, and it's a lot easier to receive the football.
He's kicked 11-3 for the season, Matt Owies. He has been goalless in his last couple. He kicks to the punt road end. He squeezes it through. And he's got his first. And Carlton's fifth. They're 5-10-40. Essendon 11-7-73. Choice Hotels around the grounds there. Just confirmation of that LBW.
Yeah, and confirmation. Your trigger finger was absolutely spot on, Hev. That ball was hitting 3/4 of the way up middle stump. So Nathan Lyon with his second wicket, I believe that was. India 7 for 213. Way short of the 444 they need to win. So Australia only 3 wickets to win that one.
I know Owies has kicked that goal, Matthew Owies, but he's been the target too often for me going forward, where they probably need to start working through the 2 bigger guys and Jack Martin. He keeps getting the ball kicked to him and he's outmanned all the time. He's got a bigger defender on him all the time. He's gone back and kicked that, which is great, which is to close that scoreboard up a little bit, but I reckon they need to find another avenue towards goal.
He also seems to be sitting in the hole that the big guys want to lead into a lot.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Out of the centre goes Big Draper for the Bombers. He runs away. He kicks a wobbly ball inside forward 50. But Boyd read that very, very well and took the mark at half-back for the Blues. Plays on quickly, kicks to the outer side wing. Walsh has got it by hand. Hand pass back to Chincotta. Low ball to Cottrell, who kept running on after delivering the initial hand pass. Kicks now to half forward to Ed Curnow. Boundary side 55 out to Big Charlie. 1 out. Laverde stayed in front. Held him off with the body. Spilled to Redmond for the Bombers at fullback. Hand pass Caldwell. Over the top by hand to Menzie. Comes out here to the broadcast wing. Low drop punt to Langford. Too short. McGovern in front marks.
And he decides to play on straight away. Gives a handball to Boyd, who's 60 metres out. That's a beautiful kick. Spears it back inside to Matt Kennedy, who marks just outside 50 to the punt road end.
The other concern, Kate, too, is when it hits ground level in Carlton forward line, there's no one chasing out. There's no one scrapping or fighting to keep the ball in there. Essendon are able to get numbers back and certainly bring it out quite easily, but a super kick there by Boyd.
That is an up and under ball. It's a total shank, and then it slips through the hands of Mackay. Martin bounces off a tackle. Handballs to Owies, who snaps from 30. That's out of bounds on the full.
What happened there, Jono?
Oh, dear.
Well, he just, off once, he was going back as he's tried to kick that, Owies, and just tried to snap it, where it was probably more than a release handball that he had to run an inside corridor.
So out of the back pocket goes McGrath for Essendon. Kicks to the outer side wing to Wiedemann. Didn't mark, but off his hands it spills to Perkins. Kicks across the wing outer side to Menzie. Saad did well to put the body contact on it. Menzie thumped it about 20 metres the bottom's way and thumped it out of bounds on the outer side wing.
That was a huge win, Menzies. He was out of position. It was a 4-on-1 in Carlton's advantage, and then he was just good enough to get a fist to it. Instead of that being an intercept mark to Adam Saad, it's now a boundary throw-in pretty much halfway down the field.
Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson, Triple M Seabar Super Special. Seabar Super making hard work pay off. Walsh's kick bounces out of play.
Hey, some of the big numbers in this third quarter, just the third term. Clearances, tackles. I mean, the Blues would seem way behind.
Yeah, all Essendon in every stat, just about. Clearances 12-5, contested ball, the Bombers lead +4. Despite that, tackles 14-4 Essendon's way.
Guelphy and Kennedy over that footy. The numbers shouldn't be like that for the margin.
It shouldn't be, not the tackles, that's for sure, because Essendon have got the ball in their hands, so you would have think that Carlton are the ones chasing down and trying to get the ball back off them.
That's a telling stat, that one from Heath. Kennedy gave a fend off and it's high.
It's a high fend off.
As you heard, umpires mic'd up exclusively for Triple M footy.
Free kick, Essendon, high fend off. Nick Martin.
Tell you what, that is one stat that Michael Voss will not be happy with. 4 tackles in a quarter of football. We know how proud he is as a footballer and such a bull, love the footy, love the hard stuff. That's not something that he will love.
Good point from Kate. Jono, how would your mate feel about that?
Yeah, look, that's your barometer right there. When you're not getting the ball, you've got to get some certain things up, and tackling is one of that. Vossi certainly wouldn't be happy with that, although all the other coaching staff wouldn't be happy as well, not just Vossi.
The ball's been worked out of bounds, still about 75 away from Carlton's goal. Down to 16 seconds. Sorry, Jono.
Sorry, but that's a key indicator. When things aren't going your way, then you start to look, okay, how hard are we working to get the ball back? And at this stage now, with those numbers that Ethan just gave us, it doesn't seem that Carlton are trying to work hard enough to get the ball back.
Closing in on three-quarter time, it's the Bombers by 33 points. Boundary throw-in. The umpire will toss it up. Still about 65 out from Carlton's goal. In the ruck, Caldwell. Slap sideways, though, for Walsh. A rush kick inside. Does he find a target? Mackay pushed forward to the pack. The umpire said it was all right. Three-quarter time at the MCG. How many goals for the Bombers in that term, Heath?
Red Z Lending stats, 7-2 for the Bombers in that quarter.
Big quarter of football for Essendon. 11-7-73 they are. And Carlton 5-10-40. The Bombers by 33 points. Jack Heverin, Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Ethan Meldrum, Nat Yanidis and Baz. And for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
The footy's on Triple M.
That quarter, the Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
the McFeast is back. You can't keep a legend out of the lineup.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Featuring...
Hang on a sec. I'm all right.
Marty Sheargold.
I'm as handy as ringing a bloke who's handy. Do you know what I mean? And that makes you the handiest bloke in the world.
It's a show for grown-ups.
As I segue into rather bad news after a quick chat about sausages.
Kickstart your day with a laugh. Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. 6 to 9 weekdays on Triple M.
There better be cake here at some point.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after. T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18+, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Hi, I'm Anthony Matafari from Car Sales. You might not know me, but you might know who this is.
Hi, I'm Wendell Saylor.
In this new podcast, in partnership with Car Sales, I'm going to be heading out for a drive with a bunch of well-known Australians in their cars for a behind-the-scenes chat about how they got to where they are today.
When the Sale family goes on a road trip, let's just say there's a lot of snacks to be consumed.
Search Along for the Ride where you get your podcast and download the Listener app now to listen for free.
Listener.
Energizer Max Plus AA batteries include recycled materials. Steel up to 10% recycled and are up to 200% longer lasting than carbon zinc. Results vary by device. Buy any Energizer batteries at your nearest stockist and you could win an amazing weekend away to relax and recharge. Offer ends 30th of June, so don't wait. Grab your Energizer batteries today and enter online at energizergetaway.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Installing a new TV is oh so easy with the Optus O team. Our experts can professionally wall mount your smart TV or home cinema from just $269 with a 5-year warranty. Book an O team visit online today. It starts with yes. T's and C's apply.
Hey, old mate's just booked off sick again.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Nah, it's all good. I've just called Construct Personnel.
Well, who's Construct Personnel?
Well, they're ex-tradies recruiting tradies. And they've got labourers and tradies ready to go.
No
Yep, they're sending a tradie out now.
What? Legends.
Construct Personnel. Tradies recruiting tradies. Call 1300 Labor or search Construct Personnel, a leading labour hire company in Victoria.
The cold and flu season has begun, so support your family and their immune system with Nature Bee Power Pollen. Power Pollen is potentiated pollen, helping your body to access amazing micronutrients fast. Right now, buy 2 months supply for $79.90 and get another 1 month for free. That's 60 capsules of immunity-boosting Power Pollen for free. Power up your family's immune defences this winter with Nature Bee Power Pollen, and you'll get 10% off your first order. powerpollen.com.au.
Melbourne's best buys. Tradies, if you want mega deals this tax time, you need AEG. With over $2 million of bonuses up for grabs, don't miss the AEG Power Tools Mega Bonus event. Available at Bunnings and Toolkit Depot. Best buys.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with their new range of standard to premium switches. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
7 goals to 2 in the third quarter has blown the game apart. Essendon with a comfortable 33-point lead going into the final term, 11-7-73 to Carlton. 5-10-40. Peter Wright, the star in his first game of the season, has 5 goals for the Bombers. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Let's get down to the boundary for Bob Jane Team Arts. Nat, we've got a sub.
Yeah, Carlton have activated their sub. Paddy Dow is into the game, and not sure about the thinking about this one, but Jack Martin has been subbed out. Given they're 6 goals down, they need to find some scoring prowess. It's going to be an interesting one for them.
Jono, are you a little bit surprised by that?
I'm very surprised. I just had a look to see whether he played VFL last week. He played VFL last week, so it's not his minutes. Obviously fit enough. He's played a full game last week. So to me, he looked like the only dangerous forward in the second term. But I did comment through that third term that we weren't able to see him. He was playing that deep. Unless he is carrying something and they were just managing through that third term to get him to the end of the third term, then they were going to make their sub just for rotations. But I would have thought that it has to be an injury of some type, that he's not 100% right.
Kate, 6 goals in 15 minutes. It was a blitz from Essendon.
Yeah, it was actually the highest scoring quarter of the season for Essendon, 7 goals, 1. They just looked like they completely outplayed. It's like there were 2 different teams that came out from half-time. The Bombers, they looked like they must have got a rocket up them in the half-time break, because they just came out and played a completely different brand of football in that third term, used the handballs, just chained all the way through Carlton's defence, and Carlton really had no answers for it, but they couldn't get their hands on the footy. The reason for that, though, they only laid 4 tackles for the entire term. So if you're behind either on the scoreboard or just that momentum feels like it's shifting, the first thing you do is make sure that your opponent doesn't get the footy, or if they do, you're straight there to tackle them and turn it over.
And it was the speed. It was the speed with their leg power off half-back. I spoke about Redmond a couple of times, but the speed on the ball that they put was... Carlton had no answer for it.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Final quarter underway at the MCG. Baz has just opened the wallet, and I've just never seen that much money in my life, to be honest. Sard kicks off the ground. It worked out okay to Akers. That's so many green notes. I've never seen that before. Long kick.
I thought those were moths.
As Mackay. Little drive-by.
Oh, jeez.
Short to Charlie Curnow. It was just outside 50. 1 goal, 4 tonight. Scrubs that one in. They head back to Sard, who marks 50 metres out. He points to the goals and says, I'm going to have a ping.
Even that entry kick for Curnow, Charlie Curnow, he just wasn't confident, Kate. He wasn't confident to kick it to the front of the square. He wasn't confident to put it to a dangerous position for his forwards, and he just grubbed it along the ground.
Hasn't kicked a goal this season. They're going to need a lot of things to go right if they're any chance, Carlton. And it starts with this. Sard from downtown, long ball, marked on the line.
It's a free kick. Pushing the back, I think.
Pushing the back.
What did you see, Jono?
Yeah. I didn't see anything, but I saw the umpire direct it straight away to a free kick. But I'll keep my eyes on the Harvey Norman replay to see whether we could get anything in it.
It's gone to Draper. It was clean hands from Mackay. And the mark not paid. Draper's kicked the defensive 50 has been marked by Durham, who leaps and marks nicely. One grab for the Bombers. Short kick out wide to Redmond. Essendon by 33 points to start the final term.
Outside 5.
And a turnover, well, not a turnover. The umpire taking it off Mackay, who's only 2 metres out from goal. Would have been the perfect start for the Blues. Nick Martin at halfback, kicks across the wing. Oh, McGovern got away with dragging Durham to the ground. Hand pass Doherty, hand pass Saad, hand pass Chincotta. Got to break the tackle. Redmond hung onto his feet, but he snuck a hand pass to Cripps. Hand pass Doherty, good build-up. And a low drop punt to half forward to Mackay, but he's marked 50 metres out. 8 metres inside the boundary.
It was, Baz. It was some slick hands and good decision-making and execution as well, what they haven't been able to do a lot of. This is a rare sight that we've seen Carlton being able to work the ball off half-back and then inside their forward 50.
They need a bit of magic from Big H. His first goal was about a 50-metre drop punt. This will be all the same. Left foot ball, does it come back enough? No. It's just across the face and lands a metre inside. And it's thumped through for a rush point. Essendon by 32 points. 2.5 final term on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Just watch that replay with that free kick given against Coney. Certainly a massive big shove on the Harvey Norman replay. Shove in the back, clear as day.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Shop massive savings store-wide. You can visit us in-store or online. Essendon trying to handle their way out of defensive 50. Turn it over. Snelling gave it up. Redmond went crashing through, but Curnow rode the bump and then punches a kick low. Motlop taken out. Gathered by Silvani in the forward pocket. Handball to De Koning. It went straight through his fingers. And Heppel on the turnaround has it for Essendon.
Yes, the Blues with a couple of early chances here. They haven't been able to capitalise. Long hand pass to the wing for the Bombers to Stringer. Oh, it's an open forward line. Langford lopes in at forward 50 and takes the mark. Who does he go to? Blues rush back in numbers. Doherty did well to put the pressure on. Menzies was the leader. He tackles Young. Louis Young dropping the ball. Menzies to take it 40 out, virtually directly in front.
That is elite from Menzies. He wanted the ball. He was on one-on-one. The ball didn't go where he wanted it. Instead of dropping his lollies and being completely out of the play, he thought, what can I do next? And he laid an elite tackle to get then earn himself a shot on goal. Take a bow. That's fantastic.
So Menzies settles over the footy at the punt road end. 4 minutes final term. The Bombers by 32. Steps up to the plate. Goes for home and the Bombers lead by 38. Menzies got a couple, and Essendon go to 12-7-79. The Blues 5-11-41. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your new business with our new range of standard to premium switches. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
He created an opportunity when there wasn't one there. It was fantastic. You called it, Kate, an elite tackle. He was able to just pin the arm straight away, stay strong in the tackle. Didn't need the dumping or anything, but then was able to keep all over him and make sure that he couldn't execute the skill. On the other hand, for Young, just needed to drive his legs through that contest, and he would have been able. They had the numbers there, Carlton, but geez, Menzies, take a bow.
Red Z landing stats, 17 tackles inside 50s for the Bombers tonight. This result halts for Carlton. That'll be 6 losses in a row. They'll have won or drawn the inside 50 count in 4 of those games.
Unbelievable. And none of them have translated into victories. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. That's a push against Andrew McGrath.
I think the thing that makes that stat worse too is you got 2 Coleman medalists down in that forward line too. Like they've got to give them use of the footy and.
Well, that's a good example there, Kate. That kick from Silvani coming in on the bounce has rolled out of bounds. Mackay had Ridley and his direct opponent Zerk Thatcher to beat.
It's also where they're getting their entries too. Like we call in footy the sort of 45 to 55 metre out. That's the trampoline zone. If you turn it over there, it's so easy for your opponents to go coast to coast.
Silvani leaps in a massive pack, wins the contest. Hand pass Cripps, hand pass Kennedy. Snaps from 20 metres out, off the side of his boot. He's missed everything. Got pushed as he kicked it. And out on the full, no change to the score. The Bombers by 38 points. 6 into the final term.
If you're pushing out, go 1 more metre. Outside 5 now.
The Blues haven't lost 5 in a row since 2019. It's headed towards 6. And it'll be another week in the headlines for them. Wright couldn't mark. It's knocked out of bounds.
Sam, Tom, here you go.
So many questions about this team and this playing group. And
the stand's starting to clear as well, Jack.
Yep.
That'll make it easy to get out of the car park, so that's good.
There's no doubt, Jack, though. They've got the talent there. The talent is there. It's just whether they show up on game day.
There's Dow as the sub from the stoppage. Kicks long towards goal. It bounces off hands. Kennedy shielded away from the ball, and Redmond happy to take it through for a rush behind.
And it just looks like a real disconnect. Like, not between the players, but just between the forward line and the mids. Like, the ball coming in isn't where the forwards want it, but it's not... The leads aren't going where the mids want it. So it's that real disconnect between the two lines as to, all right, how do these forwards want the ball coming in? And as mids, where do we want them to lead?
And there's a certain level, Kate, as you would know, playing in successful teams, is that that's got to be a player responsibility, and that's got to be driven by players, not driven by anyone else. But you've got to have pride in your delivery when you've got the ball in your hands.
Blues got it at half forward again. I don't argue giving or dropping the ball or go to the Bombers. Triple M super special comments tonight. And here from Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson. And yes, you'd be shocked like us to figure out how Triple M can get them both here and afford it. It's amazing. 37 points up the Bombers. Seabus Super, of course, making hard work pay off. It's on the wing outer side of the ground. High kick. Wiedemann back of the pack. Big leap from Caldwell. Didn't mark though, and Carlton can clean up. A hand pass comes out to Chera, and he drives the ball inside forward 50 for the Blues. Mackay in the pack, off hands to Kennedy again. Got another chance. 49 out, turns and spots Ed Curnow. Nice. And he marks, runs back with a footy because the clock's against the Blues. 8 minutes final term.
Blood rule, Essendon.
And Ed wants to have a shot. The Bombers have got a blood rule. A nice build-up for the Blues, Jono, with Kennedy spotting Curnow in a little bit of space.
There'll be Laverde coming off. He's had that blood rule he's had that blood going for a little bit now. He's had trainers out to him a few times, but it just doesn't stop, so he'll come off. But that was a great kick by Kennedy. That's the forward connection that we talk about. The ability to actually then hit a target inside forward 50. He took it upon himself, took it upon his own responsibility to hit that target.
So Ed Curnow settles over the footy. We'll get down to Nat very shortly because we think the Bombers, in fact, Nat, Bombers, Bob Jane teammates, they made a sub.
Yeah, Essendon have made a sub. D'Ambrosio's come on. Scott Draper is out of the side.
So Draper off, sitting in the back row. And D'Ambrosio comes on, the hero from last week, for the Bombers against the Kangaroos. Ed Curnow had a long time to wait. And he hooked his kick, and it went through for a behind. 36 points up the Bombers. 9 minutes final term on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Choice Hotels around the grounds. 8th at the Oval World Test Championship.
Yeah, India 8 down now, 8 for 224. Alex Carey absolutely dominating as KS Barrett has just skied one straight in the air. Caught and bowled Nathan Lyon, so he snagged that. India 9 down. We only need 1 wicket to win.
And it's not a bad little audition for the summer of cricket for Triple M by Heath there. Just a little bit of ball by ball.
He's ready. Heath called that game halfway through the third day. Halfway through the third game, he said the Aussies were home.
He does do his best work in summer. He's an absolute force on the circuit during Triple M cricket. There's Walsh. His handball missed Sard. Follow-up run came from behind. Kemp's kick was intended for Ed Curnow, but Redmond just will not stop. He wills himself to the contest and slaps it away. Ball trickles towards the boundary line. Akers is taken there by Durham, and it just caught his foot on the way out.
Who's kick?
It'll be a Carlton free kick. Broadcast wing. It's the Blues who lead by 36 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So the Blues pressing in their forward half in this final term, just haven't been able to impact the scoreboard yet. 36 points in arrears of the Bombers. As the Bombers led by 33 at three-quarter time. DeConing's got it in the forward pocket, squares it up to the hot spot, but running back with the fly to the footy was Zirk Thatcher for Essendon, who marked it full back. Little hand pass off to Ridley in the back pocket. Nice low drop punt to Nick Martin, who marks on defensive 50 out of side. Chips it inboard to Hine. Seem very comfortable at the moment, the Bombers, to share the footy around as he kicks across half back to Heppel, the former skipper. No one on the mark, so he plays on and goes short to Redmond.
Heath, Red Z Lending, what's the tackle count for the game?
Tackle count for the game, nearly double in Essendon's favour, 56-29. That's despite the disposals being pretty even. Carlton are only +9 for the game.
Yeah, well, you can't expect to win a game if you're going to get out-tackled by double when you don't have the footy in your hands.
Snelling at half forward. Looks into the pocket. Wiedemann was pushed. A blatant push as well. Jacob Wiedering stopped. He thought he'd given away a free kick. Umpire said play on. Said just needs to put it on his boot and get it out of the danger area. Cottrell on the wing. Flips a handball over his shoulder to Ed Curnow. Now they sweep it to Dow. Into the middle of the MCG. Silvani's got a one-on-one. Used his body nicely. Dropped the mark. Just needs to pick it up now. 30 metres out. Gave a handball off. Charlie Curnow does the rest. 2 goals, 4 for the night for Charlie. The Blues 6-13-49, trail by 30 points. The Bombers 12-7-79. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, it was some nice body work from Silvani, but they finally looked up and saw they had a real one-on-one inside 50, so they just put it to the forwards' advantage and let them do the work. And whilst he dropped the mark at the end, he still followed up, then got the handball out to Charlie Curnow, who was following up, but just some better ball movement. They got it working through, they got the advantage and kept the ball moving quickly when they had it.
They linked up well, didn't they? They linked up well off half-back, and you just got to be predictable. And all of those, possessions, immediate with the hand straight over and then a kick to advantage as well, all being predictable to each other.
So McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Built tough rising conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a room. Carlton out of the centre. And it's a long ball from Chera to half forward. Can they go again? Get another one. Little kick out of the pack by Motlop. Does it go for goal? No.
Score review.
Score review. It might have hit the point post or it might be a point.
And it just seems, Kate, that instance right there, Motlop had a lot more time. They just seem that they're rushing themselves to have a shot on goal when they can probably take 1 or 2 extra steps to compose themselves and steady themselves and make sure of the goal.
So the score review is just deciding whether it hit the point post for a boundary throw-in or it snuck inside the point post for a clear point. There's the Harvey Norman replay. What do we think? It's a point.
I'm going to say it's a point.
Good call, Kate. Missed the post by a country mile. 13 and a half minutes into the final term. The Blues get another behind. They go to 6-14-50. 6-14-50. And the Bombers 29 points up, 12-7-79. Triple M Beacon Trade score.
Important call, though, that one, Baz.
It was. Kate loves the reviews. She loves the reviews.
Yep. It's just a couple of minutes of Kate's life that she's never going to get back.
Absolutely.
Dirty's right.
And she's not happy about it either.
No.
Maybe if we're looking at a goal, but maybe not a behind.
There you go.
Mackay marks in the pocket, but he gave away a push.
Just simmering under the surface.
And free kick will go to Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, who's done a very good job tonight on Harry Mackay. Long down the line, Wiedemann from 4 back in the queue, couldn't mark. Cottrell tapped it on to Doherty, gave it back to Cottrell from just outside 50. Merritt dives on his boot and smothers the footy. Ricochets back and Carlton head inside 50. It's all Essendon. And they mop it up via Durham and now Heppel.
Yeah, Heppel takes a bounce and he doubles back because no one to go to up the ground. No, 15 behind the play. Ridley grabbed it and Mackay dragged him to the ground 10 metres from Carlton's goal, but no free. No free. Heppel's kick was too short, not 15, said the umpire.
Just quickly going back to those second, third efforts from Zach Merritt on the far wing. He was out of the play, tried to lay a tackle, couldn't, and then on hands and knees got up for a smother.
De Koning tapped down to Cripps. Nick Martin gotten away for the Bombers. Hand pass to Corbell in huge traffic. Hand pass to Hind, who finds a little bit of space and kicks it to D'Ambrosio just outside defensive 50 out of side of the ground. Won't break the tackle of Cottrell. And he walks out of bounds. 52 from the Blues goal. Heath, a time in forward half in this final term. Seems to be all being played in the Blues half at the City end.
Yeah, it certainly is. 12-2 inside 50s. Forward half time so far for the Blues. 86%. For the game, they're plus 13 inside 50s despite the margin.
Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed, REDZ.com.au. Low kick is a good one. More of this in the first half would have had them in a better position. Owies marks 40 metres out directly in front.
Well, they're taking ground now. What they're trying to do, they're actually getting it out of that contest and then taking ground and penetrating kicks inside their forward 50, which are always to advantage.
He's kicked a goal tonight already. And this might test him from just inside 50. He plays on. And the distance was a problem for him. Mackay couldn't mark on the line, but it stays in. Handball's back to Dow, tucked away in the left forward pocket. He was closed down, and Heppel uses Redmond at fullback, short kick. Has Hind, and that'll be 50.
50 against Charlie Curnow, who just sat him on his backside after he marked.
Charlie, stay in front. Mark's here. Time back on. Out, stand.
So Hind brought just outside his defensive 50. Goes short
Outside
to Merritt.
five,
What's his numbers
outside
tonight,
five.
please, Heath?
Zach Merritt, Red Z lending stats, only the 14 disposals, but 7 score involvements. Of course, he's had that Ed Curnow tag. Was the number 1 ranked player in the third term when the Bombers kicked 7.
Short ball back to Ridley.
Stand.
Still at half-back, Essendon. Another short ball inboard to McGrath.
Stand, Jesse.
How many wickets to go for the Aussies, Heath?
Just the one. Just had a review that came straight off the thigh pad. Mitchell Stark bowling heat at the moment, so I can't imagine it's too far away.
So long kick to D'Ambrosio on the outer side wing. Didn't mark. The ball goes to ground. Trying to put his head over. It was Martin. Kicked out of the hands by Doherty. Kicked the half forward. Cut off by McGrath at true centre half back for the Bombers. And he's got Durham on the wing on his own, and he marks.
And now Stringer up ahead. Next link in the chain is 52 out from goal.
Go the barrel.
We've seen him do it once this year already.
Good call, Jono. Great call.
He's got this in him.
You're good there, yeah.
Oh, look at him.
They lead by 29 points.
Oh, come on, Jake.
The perfect pass.
He's changed.
Yeah.
The pass was spot on.
Yeah, it was spot on, Jack, but that's not what
But it's not what the people are here to see, Baz. Even some Bomber fans are booing.
No, they're turning around. They're refusing to watch.
No, Wiedemann has it.
Weed.
Yet to kick a goal tonight. To push this back out to 35 points the difference. Oh, that's... maybe Jake should have kicked the barrel. That's barely snuck through for a point.
So the Blues bring it back in. It's a 30-point lead to the Bombers. 18.5 final term. Of course, Peter Wright back tonight, Heath. What's the Weeds numbers been with Peter Wright back in the side?
Sam Wiedemann getting a little bit more of the ball. 13 disposals now for the game. Just hasn't kicked the goal yet. 2 behinds for him.
Bombers have a free kick on the wing through Caldwell. His short kick is cut off because he kicked it straight in the person on the mark, which was Kennedy, who kicks it out wide here to the wing to Owies, and he's tackled and slung to the ground, snuck out a hand pass to Dow. Down to Chera, and he was tackled beautifully by Snelling. And the Bombers starting to hunt in numbers now. The Blues looking a bit despondent. They had all the play in the first half of this final term. Weren't able to impact the scoreboard. Essendon with a 30-point lead, and Snelling's got it on the wing.
And they're still tackling, Kate.
Because that was a huge tackle too. That was just from behind, running him down and just cutting him in half.
Lewis Young marks the kick going forward, uses Kemp, and he heads towards Harry Mackay. Kick goes over his head, and big man turned around and did pretty well. Had to kick it off the ground at first. It's into the right forward pocket, gathers. Handball was battered down, tapped to Silvani, who turns around and hits the post with his snap. 29-point lead to the Bombers. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. They're here to partner with your business with a new range of standard premium switches, Baz. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
No truer word spoken, Jack. Well played. As Heppel here at half-back had it, and then Silvani worked him off it and won the footy for Carlton. Hand pass comes out to Sam Walsh. That came from Chera. Walsh's kick inside to the forward pocket. Owies won't trap it. The Bombers slap it around in numbers. Grabbed by Heppel at half-back, who hand passed over his head to Caldwell. Goes inboard by hand to Ridley, back to Caldwell, hand pass to the Wiedemann on the wing, hand pass back to Caldwell. His rush kick towards Phillips fell well short, and Boyd took the mark for Carlton on the wing.
Sloppy handball too. Missed his target completely, and Guelphy coming back the other way. Kicks to right on the wing, who has 5 goals in his first game of the season. Kick sat in the air for a while, made it hard for Wiedemann and Chera, who's tried pretty hard tonight for the Blues. Goes back to Wiedering. And now Boyd on defensive 50, risky kick. Snelling put his head in the hole and made a contest of it. Stringer lurking around this one, 40 out from goal. Picks up Boyd and suplexes him.
Come on.
And he gets up with a smile on his face as well.
Just the intent on the footy, on the man, on everything at the moment for Essendon, all the way through to the end of this match. Brad Scott would be so happy with their intent.
Slapped down to Kennedy in the ruck contest, so they'll work it out here. Chincotta takes a bounce. Went sideways. He had no one to go to. The kick fell short to McGraven and went through his legs. Spilled to Sam Walsh. Hand pass off to the running Silvani. Forward of the wing now. Goes short towards Motlop. It was a free downfield anyway. Motlop runs inside forward 50. Pulls the kick towards goal. Owies and Ridley. Owies didn't take the mark. It came off his hand. And went through for a point for Carlton. Essendon by 28 points. 22 final term. It's petering out here. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So I guess the big question next, Jono and Kate, is what does this week look like for Carlton?
Well, what it comes down to is their ability to actually execute. They haven't executed tonight. Their ability right there where we had Motlop, he marks a ball at top of 50, runs it into 45 and just tries to pass a ball inside the goal square where he's got to have a shot. It comes back to confidence. You've got to back yourself. At this type of football, at this elite football, it's all around confidence and backing yourself. Stringer
and Wiedering in a one-on-one. Did pretty well, Wiedering, to keep him away. Sard had to be quick. Got his handball away. The Bombers are closing down the space. Good pick up by Snelling, but couldn't find Stringer by hand. That is absolutely dropping the footy by Brodie Kemp.
Just let it go.
Picked it up, was tackled, and then threw it.
That's the definition of dropping the ball.
And then looked at the umpire and said, "You're kidding me." Umpire looked at him back and said, "No, mate, I'm not."
Well, you reckon the pressure was put in tonight, Jack, in regards to your question? They've got the Suns next week here at the MCG. So if you reckon there was pressure on the Blues tonight, that is becoming a watershed event.
They're going to be 4-8 with a draw after tonight. They're going to find it pretty hard to have any meaningful role in September now.
And the Suns are tracking pretty well at the moment.
Yeah. Caldwell from 45 metres out. They're having a party now. Blues fans head for the exits. The Bombers fans might stay here and just get on the piss all night. Why not? 34 points is their lead. 23 minutes gone.
We drink responsibly at Essendon. Thank you, Jack.
We don't at Triple M.
Yeah, well, it is call for celebration for the Bombers. It has been a fantastic performance from them. It was pretty even up until half-time, and then the third quarter they just came out and blew the Blues away. And having a look at the live ladder, they're up into 6th position, and they're just flying high at the moment. They're looking good. Their brand is standing up, but they're just playing such a good team brand of football. They look like they all want to do it for each other, and it's what you love to see.
And the Bombers with a bye next week, and the Blues with the Suns, and they've got their 86-87 player list function next week, Carlton, so they'll be hoping they turn it on that night. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Out of the centre, Guelphy's got it. Hand pass off to Big Phillips, but free kick will come back to Guelphy on the wing. Who's got most of the footy tonight, Heath? What's the big numbers for the players?
Yeah, Red Z lending stats. 2 Carlton players leading the way. Sam Walsh, 34. He had 15 in that third term, was very much playing a lone hand. Adam Chera, 31. Doherty, 26. For the Bombers, Mick Martin, 30 disposals. He's been the number 1 ranked player on the ground. Jai Corbell, 25. Ben Hobbs, 24. All of the young guns for Essendon really stepping up tonight.
Behind at half-back, chips it back to Zach Merritt, who had a hard tag on him earlier in the night through Ed Curnow. He has still contributed, the Bombers captain. Left foot ball across the wing. Phillips in front of the pack. Pushed forward. McGovern with a comfortable mark in his 100th game. Kicks back to the wing to Akers. Hand pass back to Kemp. And the drop punt will land in front of the members.
Zirk Thatcher again. Fabulous night for him. Really cemented his spot in this Essendon team now. Played 11 of the 12 games this year.
He's outbodied Mackay as well at various stages of the night as well. It's been outstanding.
Phillips marks and leads to Koning to the ball. A minute 50 left. This Bombers team will go to 8-5 as they approach their bye. And they've got a big second half of the year coming their way. It's been a huge resurgence under Brad Scott. He's got their fans believing again, and rightly so.
Bombers on the wing. Short kick will be cut off by the Blues. The East Please round the grounds. The World Test Championship is all over. The Aussies are home.
Yeah, Australia are World Test champions. Watching our boy Empty Head, I think he'd be man of the match, being interviewed by Channel 7 there as well. Australia win by 209 runs. Nathan Lyon, 4 wickets in that last innings.
Magnificent Aussies doing it beautifully. In the centre of the ground, Carlton on the rung. Hand pass comes out to Chincotta and he's dragged to the ground in a tackle, loses the footy in the handle. Guelphy picks it up. High kick to the outer side wing, ripping, courageous effort from Doherty to sit underneath it and take the mark, and he did. Plays on quickly through the centre of the ground and kicks the Blues inside forward 50.
Curnow had a couple to beat in the end. Heppel did pretty well to get a fist on it. Knocked that ball away. Guelphy flicks a handball out to Laverty, and Essendon can comfortably exit defensive 50. Here's the sub, D'Ambrosio. He kicked the match winner last week.
He did.
And he's happy to hold it up now. 30 seconds remaining.
Move it on, play on.
The Bombers are going to make it 4 in a row. And for Carlton, their losing streak now stretches to 6 games.
Certainly does. 34 points the margin at the moment as the Blues have it at half-back. That's probably where it will stay. Kemp goes short and finds Sam Walsh. How many numbers for him now, Heath?
That's 35 for him.
Ripping game. What a player he is for the Blues. Kicks out wide to the wing. Doherty marks. It's all over. The Bombers came and they conquered the Blues at the MCG in a big match. And Essendon, 34-point winners. 13-8-86 to the Blues. 6-16-52.
Was 34 points. There was 2 points the difference at half-time. Essendon set it up in that third quarter with 7 goals. And look at what it means to them as well. This is not just another game for them. This is Carlton. This is a big rivalry. And this is a team who are going places.
And coming into this one, they'd lost 3 of their last 4 matches against Carlton. Their last win was in 2019 against them, so it does mean a lot. They've been good over the last few seasons, but Carlton's always been the team they've struggled against.
And Essendon were fantastic. That speed they put on the ball, Kate, in that third term was just the difference between both of the sides, and the ability to actually not get the ball in their hands and work it quite well. But it was when they didn't have the ball, Jack, as well, and Baz, which really impressed me, was the ability to tackle, get after the body and turn the ball over. And Menzel, that tackle in that forward line really sticks into my mind. That's what Essendon have built their team off, around hard work. Whenever you're out of the contest, never think you're out of it. You have every chance of getting the ball back.
They did a lot of little things right, and what a return it was for Peter Wright. First game of the season, 5 goals. Let's have a listen to Jaden Laverty. He's talking to our man Daisy, courtesy of Channel 7.
Nice cop to the teeth this week. You must be extremely proud of your team's performance. Challenged at half-time, came out after the break and was absolutely scintillating football in that third quarter especially. We know when teams have got their back against the wall, they're going to come out hard, so it was a key focus for us. It's going to be the grind in the first half, and we were just going to wear them down, and we did that just. Your back six had your hand full at times with Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow. How do you think that played out? Keeping the total score to 6 goals, pretty good, I would have thought. Yeah, we're happy with that. I mean, we helped each other all night, and we played some aggressive footy, which was what we wanted, and I thought we held up pretty strong. Currently 6 on the live ladder. You must be absolutely pumped with that. Yeah, it's a great feeling. Great feeling when you're winning, boys are up and about, so keep this rolling. Congratulations. I'll have a chat to your partner in crime down there, Mason Redmond. Mace, congratulations, playing alongside the big man down there. We're talking about how good that back six and how steady you feel at the moment. Do you sense that when you're out there?
Yeah, I think we've got a great relationship. It comes from, we all played a lot of AFL footy at the start of our careers together, albeit at other ends of the ground and that sort of thing. But I think Jaden typifies our back line. He puts in the hard work, always puts his body on the line for us. That's what we love about him.
Yeah, he came streaming through the corridor a couple of times tonight. It must be nice when you look up and you see the big man Peter Wright back up there as a target to kick to.
Yeah, well, usually I look straight at the goals, but Big Pete was, he was owning the forward 50 tonight. It's awesome to have him back and seeing him work alongside Weeds. Obviously, Weeders didn't get the Porters tonight, but you can see how well they're going to work together, and hopefully they can be the start of a good forward line for us.
That third quarter was absolutely awesome to watch. It blew the Blues away, especially in and around contest. How much is that a big thing that I guess Brad Scott's driving within the group and everyone competing?
No, I think the game starts in the contest, so that's something that Brad really drills into us, and then obviously defence led from that. But I think around the ball, Zachy coming out hot in that third quarter really showed us the way. He actually started up forward and then went up around the ball, and it was awesome to see. He leads from the front, so it was an unreal third quarter.
Congratulations on your performance, well done. All the best for the rest of the season.
Another good night at the office for Mason Redmond, and you might have just heard in the background in that interview as Carlton made their way off, boos from Carlton fans.
Yeah, they're not happy. They were leaving, when was it? Almost halfway through that last quarter. And, yeah, they've got every right to be upset and angry, and their team didn't come to play. Or they come to play for a little bit of the game, but they weren't able to. If you're getting outclassed, you're getting outclassed. There's not much you can do about it. And tonight they'll get outclassed. And then you look towards, and you mentioned it a few times, Kate, and so have you, Jack and Baz. All of us have mentioned around the tackle and the effort that you need to put in. When you haven't got the ball in your hands, well, you need to go and get the ball back. And that effort there was lacking.
So do we get it right? I say we, on this side of the fence, get that list right at the start of the year. So are we overplaying the list, or is the list not living up to what it should be doing?
Oh, I would say the list is not living up to what it should be doing. It's not individual players that aren't playing well. It's the fact that they can't bring each other into the game. So Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow, they want the ball delivered in a certain way. At the moment, they're not getting the ball delivered in that way. But at the same token, some mids like when you lead at the legs, some mids like when you lead to space. They're not leading the way that the mids want the ball delivered either. So there's just this complete disconnect in their forward 50, their midfielders. The work from the back half to the midfield actually looked pretty good tonight. They put some pace on the footy when they needed to. They took it slow when they needed to. But they got so many opportunities inside 50 and didn't kick goals. 6 goals, 16, and a number of those actually also went out of bounds. So they've had more than 20 shots at goal and haven't converted.
And the missing link is that third or fourth forward. We see when they looked their best was when Jack Martin was up and about in that second quarter. He looked dangerous. Yeah. He looked really dangerous, and that's where Carlton played their best football. So they need to find. Obviously, they've got Motlop and they've got Owies down there, two smaller types. But who's that guy in the middle now? Who's that link player, as they call them in the football clubs? They call them as a link player that they can stand up when the big guys aren't there. They're missing that component. You're right, Kate, 100%. Through the back, through the middle, great use of the ball. But it's that third or fourth forward at the moment. He's not getting used. They're not getting reward for effort.
It's going to be 7 of their last 9, Baz, that they've scored under 62 points, Carlton.
Well, we've talked about that for a while, Kate, about the delivery and Jono, the delivery inside forward 50. So what changed tonight? Are they just... Why is that? Is the pressure on the ball carrier from the opposition? What is it? Why isn't the structure?
Well, what I've seen tonight is that they were rushing the ball forward. When they were kicking the ball forward into their forward line, they had a lot more time than what they thought they didn't, Kate, and they were just rushing it. So whether you talk that, whether it's voice around the ground or whether it's actually no instructions or just panicking as soon as you get the ball and you think you're under pressure straight away and rushing those kicks inside their forward 50.
And as the game went on, the decision-making was poor. There were times where there was 2 options. The kicker would take neither and then end up kicking a long point or kicking it not to the forward's advantage. So a couple of times they'd run the ball inside 50 and they'd have an option. They'd decide to not take the option but also not take the shot at goal. So you have to make a choice. You have to do something. At least if you've done something, it gives your your forward a chance to do something as well.
Just one last one for me, Carlton, about the midfield and how they deliver inside, right? So you got Curnow and you got Mackay inside. So of the midfielders at Carlton, who do you want to have the ball in hand in space when you have got clearance through the centre? Who's the player you want to have the ball in hand?
I'd probably say Chera and Walsh at the moment. They look the best going forward, but they're now having to do a job where they're kind of in and under players because Paddy Cripps he's down on his contested numbers, so they're going to win the footy at the source and then give it out to players that are then under pressure as well. They just didn't get that game going where they had any overlap run through the middle. They had it through the back line, but not through the middle and forward of centre to then be out, shoulders out, looking up, surveying who do I want to hit it to.
The other one that will stand out, and we'll move on to Essendon after this because they were terrific, that tackle count's unacceptable.
Oh, it's not,
unacceptable.
you will find that the coaching group, they'll have some KPIs that they got to go by, and one of those is your effort when you haven't got the ball, and what do you do, and how do you get yourself back into the game. That's one thing you can do, even as an individual. If you've got 0 possessions, but you can go and tackle.
Yeah.
You can go and tackle, and that's a will within yourself. You've got to want to do it as well. You've got to want to do it. And at the moment, what I've seen is that there was a lot of Carlton players not wanting to do that or go that extra yard.
You know who did want to tackle tonight, though? Essendon. They wanted the footy, and when they didn't have it, they wanted to hurt the player that did have it and get the ball back.
Let's head down to the Bombers' rooms. They're circling down there. Nat Unides.
Yeah, led by Zach Merritt with a big smile on his face. They get a standing ovation as they come in to sing the song in front of family and friends.
The Triple M Amy review. Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. To the winners, 8-5 now for the season. Essendon in very, very good shape as they head into their bye.
Yeah, they are in good shape, and then they've got some big matches coming up. So Freo over at Optus, then Port at the G, Crows at Marvel, and Cats at Marvel. So some really good tests coming up for them, considering they are now in that top 8 and look like they're a real challenger so far this season.
Geez, a lot wrote them off, didn't they? Bottom 4 at the start of the year, on the back of some turmoil off the ground. Obviously, the Brett Rutten coaching change, not that Brad Scott was involved with that, but let's head downstairs where Nat Unides got a very special guest, one of the Bomber stars.
Yeah, I sure do. Dyson Heppel is down here with me. Dyson, that was a rousing rendition of the club's song. That one was really special, wasn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. The boys gave it a bit of juice tonight, so good fun, outstanding result, and I thought particularly the second half, boys were outstanding.
I want to talk about the intensity. The tackle count was through the roof. The boys really had an emphasis on bringing that intensity, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, no doubt. We knew it was going to be a hot game. It always is. Big rivals and massive crowd, just big occasion, so it was always going to be heated, and I think they had us nutted in contested ball in the first half, and the boys really went to work. See the centre bounce work at the start of the third, and just really got their momentum rolling from there.
Yeah, Dyson, that third quarter was elite from you guys. Just that forward handball, was that a real aim to get that going in the second half?
Not necessarily, but I think it's just the opportunities come up. We knew they were, played a real pressing style of defence, and they were coming at us pretty hot, and I think boys were just really calm under pressure and getting in really good spots to receive and drive the ball forward.
And that back line down there just looks so well oiled. You all seem to know your role, what you're going to do, and then as soon as you get the opportunity to peel off and take an intercept mark, that's where you go for it. But how good is it to have some continuity back there and really get used to each other?
Yeah, for sure. No, it is key. We're building a nice little unit back there, and guys are just working to just gain the trust of our teammates week in, week out. And I think guys are in really good form at the moment, and we're just trying to build that cohesion and connection every week. And I think we stood up really well tonight.
Heps, Jono, mate, 33 games by Nick Martin. He looks like a veteran out there. He's a pretty impressive young individual, isn't he?
Bloke's a star. It's actually still baffles me just his rise since he came to the club, and he really hasn't dropped off at all. So he's close to me here, boys, so I better not talk too loud. I don't want to pump him up.
And a big special night for the football club. Obviously, the reunion of the 93 premiership as well. To be able to perform in front of all the guys that have come before you would be pretty special as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an important point. I think we've played in big occasions before, and over the last couple of years we haven't really been able to live up to the hype and produce on those days. So I think it was a really exciting occasion for the club, and to produce a result like that I think is super important for the where we're heading as a club.
And Peter Wright coming back into the team after shocking injury at the start of the season, right before round 1. How pleased are you to see him back, but then also taking the game on and kicking 5?
Yeah, huge. I think it's just a credit to the work that he's put in the time that he's had off. He's a true professional, and we just see him going to work, stays back late and getting his rehab done, and just making sure he's not just coming back to compete, he's coming back to perform. So credit for, the reward for the effort that he's put in.
Hey, Dyson, before we let you go, it does look like your body language, it looks like you're really, really enjoying your footy at the moment. Obviously, you've got a building side around you, a young side that's performing very well, and you're one of the veterans now, but you seem to be really enjoying around these talented young blokes.
Yeah, it's a great shout. I'm probably having the most fun I've ever had with my footy, to be honest. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, they do give you a bit of life and energy, the young guys, and they're different cats around the club. But I've really enjoyed it, and just loving my footy at the moment.
Dyson, well done. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Dyson Heppel from the Bombers. What did his night look like, Heath? Red Z Lenders?
Yeah, Dyson Heppel, pretty prolific down back. 23 disposals, 91% by foot. One of the highest ranked players on the ground. 5 intercepts as well.
And he's an interesting one that I don't think has been spoken about too much this season. There were a few that were pretty keen to push Dyson Heppel off to retirement at the end of last season.
I think
he's worked it out.
Yeah, a few on the outside that were questioning. But I think the Bombers have played that very well. I think they've done very well with him. It's obviously always tough, Jono, I suppose, when you transition from when you're captain of the club and you're in your twilight years and you're not captain anymore and the pressure on your position. But he's done it well, and I think they've handled him well.
I think he struggled to not be in the midfield, and when he went out to the back line, he struggled a little bit. But once he got that right, and now he can push up to the wing at various different stages. Once he got that right, now he feels at home. You could see that there was a lot of indecision with his decision making at various different times when he was coming out of the midfield, where it wasn't really, like you said last year, a lot of people were calling for him to wrap it up. But this year he's been very, very precise with his delivery of the football.
And the other thing, the point there where he spoke about just enjoying his footy, you could tell. I mean, when you're kicking goals and on the wave that they were on in the third quarter, it's fun, but they do seem very relaxed, Kate. They seem as though they're enjoying each other's company, and there's a bit of trust.
Yeah, and the reason for that is wins. Wins build fun. Like, losing is not fun. Playing football and losing is not fun. And no matter how much you love each other, no matter how much you love being at the football club, when week in, week out, you're putting performances together and you're not winning, it's nowhere near as fun as when you go out there and you put it all together and you get wins on the board, because everyone's just able to relax. You're able to enjoy it a lot more. And there's games where you know you've played well and you maybe don't get the win, but the ones where you do play well and you get the win are far more enjoyable.
And I think he's found a slot where he's contributing. He's back to contributing again. As Jono mentioned, contributing out of the midfield when he's in his prime, now contributing in a different position. You can just see how settled he is, which is good to see. He's a ripper bloke, and you want to see him around the footy circles for a long, long time.
Nat's headed over to the Carlton room, so we'll find out what's going on there shortly. Choice hotels around the grounds, whatever your reason for travelling. You'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com, so go ahead and book it. Let's have a listen to the winning moment of Australia being crowned Test Champions of the World.
That's in the air and taken. Australia win the World Test Championship. It's a comprehensive win. They win by 210 runs. And it's Nathan Lyon who finishes things off.
Jeez, don't get too excited, guys. Take us through the scorecard, Heath.
The scorecard, so Australia, of course, they're winning by 209 runs. It was Nathan Lyon doing the damage in that last innings. He took 4 wickets. Scott Boland took 3 as well, so he was real impressive. I think man of the match went to Travis Head. They're doing the presentation now. Of course, he made a prolific 160, nearly a run a ball in that first innings, so pretty comprehensive by Australia. Good little warm-up for the Ashes, which starts in a couple of weeks. He's set to ruin our sleep schedules, Jack.
Did you just give out the man of the match before they did, Heath?
Yeah.
I said I think.
He's got inside mail, Kate. He's got inside mail.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, Heath. What's the bowling combination for the first test?
Oh, so Paddy Cummins, obviously. Nathan Lyon's got to be in there. I think Stark and Boland. I reckon you can't go past Scott Boland at the moment personally, and Mitchell Stark is a point of difference for the left armour and creates the rough for Nathan Lyon. So
got to be Boland. How much more has he got to do?
Yeah, I think he's just earned his spot there in that game.
I think so.
Also Victorian, so have to go Scott Boland.
Correct.
Get stuffed Josh Hazel.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of venom for me. That's all for Mac as the McFeast is back. You can't keep a legend out of the lineup. Let's go to our Macca's I'm Loving It moment tonight. Here is how we heard it on Triple M Footy. Redmond receives a sweeping handball at half-back. That's not 15. Carlton stopped and Redmond kept running. Got it back a third time as he dashes through the middle of the MCG from 75 metres out. Kept his kick low, and it was absolutely spot on for Peter Wright. Who marks in the forward pocket?
Oh, Peter, don't pass it off. You've kicked 4. You've got to kick 5.
Yeah, we don't like that here on Triple M.
Absolutely not. Make it all about yourself, as it should be. You haven't played all year.
Good call, Kate.
5 goals for Peter Wright. The missing link in this Bombers forward line is back in a big way.
Great call, Jack. Well played. You just nodded your head there. You get a bit funny when you get the...
Don't be silly.
You do. You sort of get a little bit...
I was just checking the races at Egypt just to see if there was any late night winners. Let's get down into the Carlton rooms with Nat Yannidis.
Yeah, slightly different feeling down here in the Carlton rooms compared to the Essendon ones. Pretty sombre, obviously. The players have just gone into a meeting and they're just starting to trickle out now. All the families are waiting to greet all the players, but it is very quiet and, like I said, very sombre at the moment. As you can imagine, 6 straight losses. The team haven't had that since 2019 or since they've had 5 straight losses. So it's kind of unfamiliar territory. Obviously, so much pressure on the coach, Michael Voss, and the playing group as a whole, because there is so much expectation on this side. There is going to be a heap of media pressure on them during the week, and they know that, and they've done the team building. They've spoken about how they're getting through this mentally, but something just isn't clicking for the Blues at the moment.
No, it's not. And the reality might have set in potentially that their season's over.
Yeah, and that's a struggle. And, you know, you talk about winning games, Kate, and, you know, it makes it more enjoyable. When you're winning games and you're walking into the office, if you want to call it that, on a Monday morning, or you're heading to recovery, you want to get out of bed, you want to do that. But when you're sort of like this and you go, well, what's left? And then for the coaching, now they've got to start to work out, Baz, is do they start playing players in different positions to see what they can develop for next year as well? So then you start to do some experimenting as well.
The other thing that's difficult for the coaches when it comes to this is working out, okay, we've got review on Monday. How do we go about it? Do we want to hit them between the eyes? Do we want to show them the mistakes they made? Or do we not need to do that this week? Do we need to get around them and pump them all up and get them up and about? So finding that balance is also really difficult after a loss like this.
And if you do rotate some numbers, Jack, of those players, and how does Vossi and the coaching staff sell that? Not only internally at the club, but also to the fans here tonight, that, you know, we're going to go backwards before we're going to go forwards again. And they do rotate that list, as you suggested, John, and give a few young fellas a go.
Well, you've got to work out what your purpose is and what you want to be known for a team. And if you see guys doing that within the VFL, well, you've got to reward them. You've got to reward them and bring them in and say, hey, what you're doing in the VFL, you need to bring that to the AFL as well. And they need to reassess now what needs to happen between now and round 23. What can we get out of the season that can make our 2024 season better?
One more roll of the dice, I reckon, Jack. That's next week against the Suns here at the MCG.
You reckon?
Well, they've got to have a roll, because that's just... I mean, this was such a must-win for them tonight.
Yep.
Double that for next week against the Suns.
It's going to be a very, very interesting game next Sunday, because, as you pointed out in the call, Baz, the Suns are going well. Suns are playing good footy at the moment.
Oh, no, this is not a just trample over.
No.
They will come to play, and they will smell a carcass, and the carcass at the moment is Carlton.
And they're also a team with finals hopes too.
Yep,
like they've
absolutely.
got a really good chance of making it this year, and they're probably more in contention now than Carlton are.
And without knowing the contract status off the top of my head, but that Carlton are going to have some decisions to make. One, do they even fight for Tom de Koning? Do they let him go and take what comes back the other way? They've got a lot of money tied up in Jack Martin. They've got a lot of money tied up in Zach Williams. They've got a lot of money tied up in Mitch McGovern. They could free up some of that. They're going to have some calls to make on Ed Curnow as an example. Is he now come to the end? Do they let Paddy Dow go and explore another opportunity? Lockie O'Brien, etc. So if you jump ahead, Sam Doherty's probably another one that'll start to come under the radar.
Spot on.
If you jump ahead, all of a sudden this list, there's not a lot of players that are safe on this list right now.
I look at Ed Curnow. He would be my team every day of the week. Every day of the week. And, you know, he's not the best user of the football, but what he done, I thought he played a real vital role in that first half. And it wasn't until Merritt went forward where the coaches didn't pick that up.
Yeah,
so
they missed that, didn't they?
wasn't identified. That wasn't identified. So if you keep him there, he probably then stops him from creating those, kicking his own goal and then creating 2 other goals as well. So it was more of a miss from the coaching staff. So I would have him move in my plans moving forward for at least the next couple of years. But he always will need to have a job, a run-with job. He can't go out and play your small forward or your small defender, whatever. He always has to have a responsibility.
Hey, life's bigger than footy, Jack. Sometimes we've got to acknowledge that. The Blues, the black armbands tonight. Zach Williams' sister Sammy passed away during the week. So our thoughts here at Triple M with Zach and his family, and obviously been a tough week for Zach and his family. So our thoughts with them.
Agree. Let's finish up on the votes. I reckon the Triple MVP award for New Holland, end of financial year, 0.95% tractor finance now available. You can visit your local New Holland dealership.
Yeah, it wasn't easy tonight. There were a couple of players that was standing out in terms of the possessions, but the way I went about it tonight, I thought the ones that had a bigger impact in certain stages of game. So I gave Jai Caldwell 1 vote. So he had the 25 possessions and kicked 1 goal. And I gave my 2 votes tonight to Peter Wright. Had an outstanding third quarter, kicked 3 in the third quarter. So he was my 2 votes. He was it's good to see him back on the AFL stage. And then my 3 vote went to Nick Martin, who had the 30 odd possessions. He was everywhere. He had a good mixture of kicks and handballs. His tackles were up as well. So he was an outstanding contributor towards the.
Very, very big win for the Bombers tonight. Look how happy Baz is.
It's just happy because it's time to go.
Yes, it is. Jono, well done to you.
Good work, guys.
Well done to you, Kate. We'll see you on Sunrise next week.
Shut up.
Hey, you're a global star now. You're going to be too big for us soon.
Wake up with Kate. Wake up with Kate.
I won't be seeing you on Sunrise, Hep.
No. We'll just be probably getting home. I would have thought about that time as well. Baz, nicely done.
Jack, excellent from you.
Nat, Kirk, MJ, all of our team here at the ground and in the studio as well. Thanks so much for being with us. Make sure you're with us tomorrow from 1 o'clock for King's birthday footy between the Demons and the Pies. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with Australia's biggest range of downlights. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
For Ream Hot Water.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.